After resurrecting their season with 3 straight wins, it seemed like the Scottish Claymores would get a chance to fight for a World Bowl slot against Amsterdam. The first-place team, Frankfurt, just had to beat the last-place team, Berlin. That surely should have been easy. Well, it wasn't.
3rd down 5. Gray's throw is intercepted. Picked off by Jamal White. White to the 20, the 10, touchdown.
So, if Barcelona beat Rhine, then Scotland could still qualify if they beat Amsterdam.
Hard count by Gryson, 5-step drop. Fires, great catch, Adams, touchdown!
So it's the Fire who win the right to take on the Galaxy in World Bowl 11 at Hampden Park, and the Claymores host Amsterdam, looking to make someone pay this afternoon.
If we don't get a chance to fight for a place in the World Bowl, it'll be a real downer for the end of the season.
It's going to be really disappointing now. If the results don't go away, after winning the last 3 as well, to get in this position, it will be a disappointment.
Guys have really played their hearts out the last few weeks, and I think we're going to do the same thing this week. And if it comes down to a tiebreaker situation, and by chance we don't get in, it's going to be pretty tough. But that's just how it goes. We had our opportunities earlier in the year that we missed out on, that we can blame ourselves, not anybody else.
Off first to Amsterdam. Raymond Adams from the Jets back to take it at the 5-yard line. Adams doesn't get far, about 17 yards on the return before Isaac Keys makes the tackle. And so we'll get a look at that Minnesota Viking quarterback Shaun Hill first. You talked about how hot he has been. Hill will begin the game at the 22-yard line, and the last couple of weeks he has put up some big numbers all season long, as a matter of fact. 5 interceptions and 325 passes.
Yeah, he's also very accurate. Over 62% of his passes.
First play from scrimmage, Hill. Off the play fake, gets it out to the tight end, and that's Kirk McCullen. Going to be out near that first down marker. McMullen sent over by the Carolina Panthers. This Amsterdam offense, a big offensive line. Craig Osika, their center from the San Francisco 49ers, the guy to watch there. And there you see already Kirk McMullen, the tight end. They like to use them a lot in this offense. On 2nd down, pass thrown too high and almost intercepted. That ball hit James Ruths right in the numbers. Looking at this Scottish Claymores defense, they've only given up 3 touchdowns total in the last 3 games, and they're led by a rotating group up front. There's the starting 4. Michael Landry from the Chiefs has 6.5 sacks on the season. The linebackers, Isaac Keys from the Packers is their leader there. And in the secondary, keep your eye on Deveron Harper, the former Carolina Panther, at cornerback. On 3rd down and short, they hand it off, and that's Adams.
Hold on, guys. We got spot.
We'll see where they spot this. He needed to get the 32 just across it for the first down, and they got it.
I got it.
Right, tell you what, Kurt, when you're playing this game like this is Week 10. It's like the final game of the season. There's nothing on the line, no playoffs, no World Bowl for either one of these teams. You want to just see the effort. You want to see the effort. You want to see the tenacity. You want to see how badly these guys love to play the game. And from the opening kickoff coverage of Scotland, I think both these teams are ready to play.
First down for Amsterdam. Hill. That thrown too high, incomplete. Intended for Matthew Hatchett. Hatchett being covered by Deveron Harper.
Probably the biggest name in this league this year is Matthew Hatchett out here at wide receiver. Here's a guy that played for 5 years with the Minnesota Vikings. He said he was the whipping boy there. When they had Chris Carter, and then Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper, he was the guy that couldn't do anything right. And he knew what it was like to be the whipping boy. Now he's the guy that does everything right. And there's some other guys on his offense that are the whipping boys here.
Also spent time with the Jets and Raiders. Pass complete. Tellis Redmond from the backfield. And Redmond picks up 8 yards on the run before Bernal Isabel makes the tackle.
Well, just to finish up on Matthew Hatchett, we're going to talk a lot about him today. He's the leading receiver in this league. I mean, he's over 20 catches more than the next receiver. And we talked to him yesterday. What a great attitude from Matthew Hatchett, because he said He was out of football last year, got cut by Oakland. And he said, you're out of sight, out of mind. And he said he loves to play the game. And he goes, he doesn't care where it's at, whether it's in Amsterdam or Minnesota or Baltimore, that's what he wants to do.
Off the play fake on first down.
I got it, Gerald.
Intentional grounding when he got rolled out, chased by a defensive lineman. He wasn't sure of the rule. He thought as long as he threw it at the foot of the defensive lineman, that's all he had to do once he was out of the pocket, they'd do the flag. But guys have to learn the rules.
And that's part of the learning experience of Europe.
And in fact, he said he'll never make that mistake again. So there, he threw the ball out of bounds, out of the pocket, go on to second down, skip that down.
And a work from the shotgun here on second down. They hand it off to Tellus Redmond. Redmond with a couple of nice moves as he fights his way out for a pickup of 6 out to midfield. Darnell Robinson with a tackle.
Now, there's different types of offenses in this league. Amsterdam likes a one-back, either 3 or 4 wide receiver offense. Scotland favors the 2-back West Coast variety. So Amsterdam, you're always going to see one back in the backfield for the most part, and then a lot of wide receivers. It's a pure passing team. They've thrown the ball more than any other team in this league.
On third down, they need to cross the 46 for the first. Hill rolling. Penalty marker down on the play. He picked up enough for the first down, as a matter of fact, getting all the way down to the 40, but let's see what the flag's for. Gerald Austin, longtime veteran of the National Football League, our referee today.
Offside on the middle tackle. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
They'll take the yardage of the Sean Hill run.
Now watch Matthew Hatchett come in motion. He's wide open over here. But when Sean Hill gets flushed, look at him. There's nobody around him. And he's thinking, wait a second, I'm the leading receiver in this league. I'm wide open. They're not throwing it to me. What's going on here? But Sean Hill got flushed the other way.
Well, there haven't been many times they haven't thrown it to Matthew Hatchett. You mentioned leading receiver. He's got 59 catches. Came into this game with 21 more than anyone else.
Well, that's more catches than he had in 5 years in the NFL with the Jets and with Minnesota and Oakland. So, you know, he's their go-to guy here in this offense.
First down at the 39. Hatchett in motion. They fake the end around to him. That's Tellus Redmond from the backfield. He actually falls down and loses 2 yards on the play. Riddell Lockhart with the tackle.
You know, that last play, Matthew Hatchett was the decoy.
Yeah.
You know, a little fake reverse motion to him. And it was like, are they going to throw the ball to me here today? They're going to just use me as a decoy because Scotland wasn't fooled at all. So that's really good fundamentals there by Scotland. And really, the whole key to this game to me is these 4 guys up here of the Claymores. They're great pass rushers. They want to set the league record for sacks today. And they can pressure a quarterback.
On second and long, Hill over the middle of the field, completes it. That pass caught by Carlos Rosado, the Mexican national. Pickup of 10 yards on the play, and Rosado is having a nice season. That's his 24th catch of the year. He's been in this league 5 years, had only 23 combined before that one.
Well, one of the things that this league has done is it has integrated foreign players into American football. Carlos Rosado from Mexico was a longtime hero down in Barcelona, got his chance in Amsterdam this year. Really been the 3rd best receiver all year here.
On third and short, they need the 29. Hill goes up for Hatchett. He's covered by Dever and Harper, incomplete.
Let me tell you this right here, Kurt. When you've got nothing on the line here, no playoffs, the final game of the season, you get the 4th down like they are right now, you go for it. Especially when you're in that area of the field where it's a long field goal, it's a wet field. You're going to see teams very aggressive today. You're going to see a lot of trick plays. They're going to empty the playbook. There's nothing more to play for after this. It's time to go get ready for training camp. So 4th down, set. Go for it.
Once again, needing the 29. Hill, quick pass. That's caught and dropped. Kerry Hood, and it's incomplete. Hood had it for a second. Dyshot Carter hit him and forced the incompletion.
It's a nice, accurate throw by Sean Hill. Right on the money. And it's just good defensive play that time by Dyshot Carter on the outside.
So Bart Andrus, the head coach of Amsterdam, watches his club go down on downs. Scotland takes over.
This year, these were the best players at these positions. I thought Craig Nall, who we're going to see lead the Scottish Claymore offense right now, and his favorite running back, Ken Simonton, were the two best there. And then Adele Shepard, one of his wide receivers, I think is real talented. We talked about Matt Hatchett already. There's a kid down in Frankfurt, Robert Baker, that we'll see in the World Bowl next week right here. Next Saturday on Fox at 1 o'clock, you'll get a chance to see Robert Baker, a real explosive player for the Miami Dolphins.
And there you see Adele Shepard on first down for the Claymores, starting at the 31-yard line. Nall to the air right away, completes that one out to John Minardi, and Minardi picks up right at 10 yards. We'll see where they spot it. Lewis Green on the tackle.
Well, Kirk, you know, this is one of those teams that scripts their plays, the first 12 plays. And, you know, they rehearsed it all day yesterday. They reviewed it this morning, and the results are they've scored on 6 of their first 9 possessions this year. In fact, last week against Barcelona, they went right down the field. Twice the first 2 times they had the ball and scored touchdowns.
Red 38. On first down again, Ken Simonton, the running back, through a hole. Simonton picks up 10 more.
He's a guy.
Well, Craig Nall, when you got a quarterback like he, then you can make good things happen, and that's what Scotland has done. They're on a 3-game win streak. Nall has been spectacular during those 3 games. As you mentioned earlier, 7 touchdowns, no interception. He leads this league with 16 TD passes on the year.
Set, Green 92. Green 92. Hut.
In Admirals territory, Simonton again through the hole once again. Simonton picks up 7 more before Lewis Green stopped him. This Claymore offense, the highest scoring in the league besides the quarterback. They've got a pretty good offensive line. Jason Sukanik, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is a good one at center as well. And there you see Ken Simonton from the Buffalo Bills leads this league in rushing and total yards from scrimmage. He gets the carry on the play action. Fooled me. That's completed out to the tight end, Rod Trafford, and he gets all the way down to the 21-yard line. Glenn Sumter stopped him, but only after a pickup of 20 yards. Big task for this Admiral defense. They play a 3-4 with 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers as well. Lewis Green second on the team in tackles at linebacker. Their leading tackler is actually their strong safety, Glenn Sumter, from the Houston Texans.
Red 80.
Little shovel pass. And that's the fullback. Matt Milan all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Scottish Claymore.
Well, they've scored on 7 of their first 10 possessions right now. And that's about as efficient as you get. And that's how they've looked the last month of the season.
Step by step.
I mean, it is surgery, and that's the best surgeon in this league, Craig Nall. And he was perfect on that drive.
So the Claymores get on the board on their first possession. Rob Hart, the Englishman, on for the extra point, and he puts it through. Claymores defense stops Amsterdam on possession number 1. Their offense takes over and makes them pay on the little shovel pass for a 7-0 lead.
Like you see, just a shovel pass right here is Mike Milan, who's going to get this ball coming across here. But watch the mechanics of Craig Nall here. A little fake pass, freezes the defensive end, then he shoves it right underneath him. You'll see it a lot better on this right here. We see that little shovel pass, that little fake in there right there. So nuances of the game that separates plays that work, plays that don't work. And you only get that by practicing. And Craig Nall has just been unbelievably sharp in the last month.
Nall 3 for 3 on the opening possession, 52 yards in that touchdown score. Ramon Adams takes it for Amsterdam. Adams with a little running room. Out in the open field, there's a flag thrown on the play as he falls down at the 47-yard line. Being stopped by Juwan Cherry, but let's see what the flag's about. That'll be coming back. That'll be holding against Amsterdam.
Holding number 56 of the receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
That's on Josh Hotchkiss, the
and that's
New York
holding
Giant.
from the point of the infraction and not from where the final ball was put down.
through the opening quarter here in Glasgow, Scotland. The hometown Scottish Claymores owning a 7-0 lead as Amsterdam gets its second possession of the ball game. Matthew Hatchet and company beginning at the 29-yard line after the penalty.
Well, the way that the Claymores are scoring, I mean, if you're Amsterdam now, you're going to come back and match scores.
Yeah.
You can't fall too far behind with this team right now because they're so explosive.
Sean Hill, the quarterback, pitches it off to Tellis Redmond. And the Seattle Seahawk picks up 2 yards before being forced out of bounds by Ubernal Isabel. Well, throughout the game, we'll be able to listen to several guys. Wired for sound today, force Amsterdam quarterback Sean Hill. And then for Scotland, defensive line coach Jim Temsula, Craig Nall, the quarterback, and the center, Jason Sukanik.
Right club, land, smash, trade, gaff. On one, ready? Over here, Hood, and somebody. Smash, trade, hurry up. Rip.
Smashes to the 2 receiver side at the bottom.
Hill up top, wide open. That's Eugene Baker. Baker, in his first game with the Admirals, makes the catch out at the 50-yard line, a gain of 19 yards.
Well, in this league, you've got some players that are just floaters. I mean, they could go to any team, and so you get an injuries the way Amsterdam.
Right, land, 23 out. On one, ready?
Lost
I got your hat.
starters last week, a wide receiver, a tight end. Eugene Baker's the floater, so he comes in on Wednesday. They pick him up from the train
Liz!
and here he is suited up today.
Picks up 19, gets him to the 50. Hill with time, going up top, wide open, Matthew Hatchet. And he is hit just as he catches it, but he made the grab. James Ruth knocked him down. Penalty marker as well, right at the 19-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 97 defense.
We're tacking
15
on.
yards from the end of the play. First down.
Wow, that's a big one. Michael Landry called for the roughing the quarterback.
Yeah, Matt Hatchet, you see that? Devon Harper was the defensive back, and he slipped on the play. And you can't play football on your
Play
back.
was inside the 20. It will be half the distance.
Oh, man, Mike Landry went for the head. I mean, that's what he did. He first of all, he lunged, so, you know, you can't do that. And then he went for the head, and then it was at the quarterback. So, I mean, it was like 3 strikes against him on that play.
Well, it's a 31-yard pass play, another 10 yards on the roughing the quarterback. So they wound up picking 41 yards up, the ball down at the 9-yard line. Hill looking towards the end zone with time. Throws it out there to the big man, Kirk McMullen. He makes the grab right at the 3. Robbie Robinson with the tackle.
I tell you, the best tight end in this league, we put up that graphic of, you know, who I think the best at positions are on offense, is Kirk McMullen. And he's a big target. He's 6'7". He leads all tight ends in this league in receptions. And on a field where it looks like whoever gets the best footing is going to win.
Toss. On one, ready?
That time McMullen left his feet to make the catch, and it was a great catch.
Oh, nice pass by Sean Hill, puts him in the record books. Most completions in a season in NFL Europe League history. Right now he's going for the touchdown as he pitches out to Tellis Redmond, dances into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, there's a nice comeback by the Admirals. The Claymores put 7 up. Amsterdam bounces right back.
Well, they get the big play. They got the big play to Hatchet, then they got the personal foul. And so, yeah, I said that you've got to answer scores from Scotland because they're so explosive, and that's just what the Admirals did.
That was Redmond's first touchdown rushing this season.
I think it was going to be right there.
So the Seattle Seahawk with the touchdown. Nice drive led by Sean Hill, the Minnesota Viking. And just like that, pinning the extra point.
Drill, bro.
We're all tied, right on the verge of it.
Who made the play on you, safety?
Silvio Diliberto on for the extra point, and he gets it. And so the Claymores scored on their first possession. It took Amsterdam 2 tries to do it, but get in the end zone they do to knock the game at 7. Well, Kurt Warner, everyone knows his story, right? From the Amsterdam Admirals to the St. Louis Rams Super Bowl MVP, NFL MVP twice, and it all began for him right here in NFL Europe.
Yeah, but you come over here, Kurt, and it's never easy over here. I mean, just the production here and trying to get, you know, sound wired and, you know, I mean, you got techs back here and they're trying to get things fixed up here. And this guy over here, this guy right here has been trying to adjust our sound because we're trying to get the sound back to the stage. So he's been in the middle. He's been crawling around this board over here, and you know, and then you never know when that thing's just going to go dead. You're just not going to have a picture there or anything like that. So we've got all kinds of guys crawling around here because this is NFL Europe, and it doesn't always go smooth sometimes.
Ken Simonton takes the kickoff right at the 10-yard line. Simonton through a hole. Racing with the kicker, Joe O'Donnell. Stays alive down the sideline, finally. Forced out of bounds right at the 23-yard line. Nice return by Simonton to get the Claymores in excellent field position.
Well, Simonton has been the do-it-all guy here. And he's a great story because he was a big-time player coming out of Oregon State. And, look at his wedge here. I mean, you get a good kickoff return. It starts up front. And he got through there clean. He didn't get touched coming through the teeth of that wedge. And O'Donnell just gets a little push on him. But Simonton has been a do-it-all guy here. Punt returns, kickoff returns, leads this league in rushing, been a great receiver here.
Well, he got 67 on that return. John Minardi, wide receiver, coming out of the backfield. No, looks for it. That pass broken up by Glenn Sumter. Nice play, but you saw the deception right away with the wide receiver lining up at fullback.
Greg Knoll hasn't missed many of those here over the last month.
My fault, Minardi.
He just said, it's my fault, Minardi. He'll take that one.
That ball was huge, man.
Injured Admiral down on the field.
He said the ball is huge. You know what he means is the ball's wet. And when a ball gets wet, it's leather. It expands. And so, a normal dry ball fits in your hands. A wet ball feels bigger, almost like a balloon sometimes. You have to learn how to throw a wet ball in this league or the NFL.
That's Jonathan Brown, the defensive end for the Admirals, who's getting up. And you see the officials trying to keep the ball dry. It was raining earlier. It has stopped.
It was what? It was what?
It was raining earlier.
It doesn't do too much of that here, does it?
Well, this is Scottish sunshine right now.
It's funny. The Scottish people, they always apologize to you for the rain. I'm like, wait a second. It was raining before you were born. And in this brand new, stadium here that has been renovated, once the oldest stadium in all of Europe, all the fans are dry now. They're all covered.
Goal on second down to Simonton out of the backfield with a couple of blocks. Can't quite get around the corner. Picked up just a yard on the play. Dwan Epps forced him out.
That's been a great play for him over the last month, is that crack screen. And, it's just a way to get the ball to the outside. It's nothing more than a pitch, but you're throwing the ball instead of pitching it
wide away, on one,
right to your back. That's the guy they call Skunk right there in the middle. That's the center, Jason Sukanik. Calls all the signals.
Red 80!
They need the 13-yard line for the first. No, pump fakes over the middle.
We got it.
Caught by the tight end, Rod Trafford. He'll be short of the first down, however. Stopped by Dwan Epps once again.
Watch this play. This is a tight end delay here, Kurt, okay? And the tight end, Rod Trafford, watch what he does here. Well, he falls down on the ground, and then he gets up. It's just nothing but Academy Award acting. Falls down like he's blocking a guy on the ground on his knees, then he gets up off the ground and he slides over the middle.
So Rob Hart comes in to attempt a field goal from 32 yards away. Bad hold. Shane Stafford, the backup quarterback, who's also the holder, let that ball slide through his hands, and Scotland winds up with no points.
That's the big ball. That's the big ball.
It's too big to hold.
Yeah, it's too big. The ball expands, and so you're used to just catching a dry ball, and you got to learn how to catch a wet ball. There's a separate skill to it. But Stafford's a quarterback. That was. It was like that ball came back hot or something.
Hot potatoes. Didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
And so Scotland, stopped by the bad hold, gets no points, and Amsterdam takes over at the 29-yard line. Hill. Pass incomplete in the direction of Kerry Hood.
All right, now this is what's going on here.
Tell me what's going on, Baldy.
Well, players are slipping all over the field, okay? And you can't play pro football and slip. You can't slip. There's no room for it. So you've got to adjust your cleats, You have to learn how to run with your feet underneath you.
Right, 2 draw check,
and
land
it's a skill. You think, okay,
right.
run with your feet underneath you. I mean, how simple is that? I mean, it sounds retarded, but you have to learn how to play football with your feet underneath you so that you don't slip.
Hill on second down, hands it off to Tellis Redmond. Redmond brought down for the tackle. Ubernal Isabel with a stop, pickup of 3.
All right, convert here. Let's go. 3rd down.
There's a defensive line coach,
mix,
Jim Tomsula here, who's never quiet. And he's Mike today, and we might have to get a few bleeps ready, but we're going to open it up and listen to him coach his group up front.
They need the 39 for the first down. Hill completes it to the tight end, Kirk McMullen, going to be just about half a yard shy, it looks like, of the first down. Do you go for it again here, or you're still in your own territory at the 39-yard line?
Well, you know, right now, I think it's 7-7 game, Kurt. You punt this one away. First of all, the big ball. You know,
that's true.
You might get a fumble or anything happens. Just hope that the fumble doesn't occur to your own team here in your own end.
How you feeling? Shit. We got nothing to lose.
Just that. Jeff Crowell from the San Francisco 49ers comes on to punt. Ken Simonton, who had that great kickoff return of 67 the last time he touched it, back to take it. This time at the 25. Just short 3 yards on the return there.
And Kurt, you know, you can't build any foundation in pro football, any level of football, without a good offensive line. And so we got a couple of them out here today. We got the Skunk here today at center. Craig Osik, who also plays center for Amsterdam, is out here today. I think the best lineman in this league right here, Jim Jones. We'll see him next week in the World Bowl, along with Dwayne Ledford. And then for Amsterdam as well, the left tackle, Lawrence Smith, has had a good season. It was actually pretty tough chore trying to find the 5 best out there today.
Yeah. Money, left.
Talked about his experience in Tampa Bay helping. Jason Sukanik on first down. No, play fake. All kinds of time and gets it out to the fullback, Mike Milan, and Milan gains 11 yards and a first down.
Take a listen to Jason Sukanik, the center, make his calls at the line of scrimmage. What he has to do.
How long did he hold the ball for there? How long did he hold the ball for there? Trying to divert the attention.
Awesome call, Jason.
Homie.
See, offensive linemen, they've got a clock in their head. He said, how long did Craig Dahl hold that ball for? Because it seemed like it was forever. See, this group here.
So Brandon, Dave, tell me about the hookers you got yesterday.
See, these guys know how to have a good time. You know, because to them, as long as they can get a breath of air and they can keep breathing,
right?
And sometimes that's hard. You'll see them double over on their knees. They never take anything too serious because they're at the bottom end of that trough. Everything rolls downhill. They know if anything goes wrong, they're gonna be the reason why. So just give them some water, like they're at the trough. Let them get a breath of air, and they'll find a way to smile and have some fun.
Well, they've got to be having fun the way their offense has played here this last couple of weeks, especially.
Set. Green 92. Green 92. Hot.
Here comes the blitz on first down. Penalty markers go flying. Gain of 5 on the play.
Offside, 21 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, repeat first down.
It's on the cornerback, Fred Booker. I never understand how guys line up in the neutral zone.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. They're playing press coverage, means he's got a wide receiver one-on-one, and he wants to jam him at the line of scrimmage. And they go so antsy to jam him that they actually lose track of where that line of scrimmage is.
Isn't that the first thing you look for?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, Kurt. But you know, you're so worried about getting hit. It's the last game. You want to get out of here healthy tomorrow. You're not thinking right now.
So they took the penalty. It's 1st and 5. That's Simonton on the last play of the first quarter. Picks up 3 yards on the play. And that'll take us to the end of the first period here in Glasgow, Scotland. Each team has been able to put a touchdown on the board. We look for plenty more from these two high-scoring offenses as we continue. Well, for hot, comprehensive coverage of NFL Europe, just log on to NFLEurope.com. You can get the latest news, scores, and highlights from around the NFL Europe League simply by logging on to the official site of the NFL Europe League. And you know what? That's something we did last night.
Well, we had to. We wanted to watch, the Frankfurt and Berlin game in Berlin yesterday. So we logged on NFLEurope.com. We put it through a projector.
Get the streaming video
we put it on the wall. We got a bunch of Domino's pizzas. And we sat there and we watched the game on NFL.com. And we were in suspense because we lose the connection every once in a while. Computers shut down, they lose the signal. You got to reboot it, put it back up there on the wall. I can't remember having more fun watching the game in a while.
It was enjoyable watching on the computer. We're like the kids now.
We are.
Craig Nall on play action. Pass caught. Adele Shepard down into Amsterdam territory, brought down at the 37-yard line by Troy Grant. Gain of 15 yards.
Greg Nall knows that there's windows in the defense, and sometimes you got to wait for your receiver to get in a window, and that means you got to take a hit. And Craig Nall, as you just heard, took a hit that time, but he stayed in there. Looked down that barrel of a gun, delivered a strike to a real good receiver in Adele Shepard.
That's the 27th catch of the season for Shepard.
Green 98.
On first down, Ken Simonton. Simonton picks up 2 yards on the run.
Kurt, they run the West Coast offense here. The only team in this league that does, and that's because the new offensive coordinator right here, Ken Marjoram, brought it with them from where he's been, where he played in the offense with Bill Walsh in Stanford. Then he played with the Chicago Bears for a long time, got a Super Bowl ring there. Then he coached this offense at the University of California, Menlo College.
And he
believes in it, and it's been great for him.
4 wide receivers on second down. Nall on the draw. Well, that's not necessarily his strength.
Easy now,
Gets back
easy.
to the line of scrimmage. Glenn Sumter with the tackle.
Kurt, everybody talks about West Coast offense on Sundays in the NFL, but this is a little bit of the philosophy of it. Take what the defense gives you. If the long ball is there and the alert is there, take it. But if that 5-yard route is there, take what they give you. And then they want to get 5 receivers out every time and try to defend those 5. And then in each route, there's a triangle that a quarterback reads of 3 wide receivers, and it narrows his focus.
On third down, Nall can't find the receiver, goes towards the end zone.
Easy now.
He's got it, but throws it too far for Scott McCready, incomplete. Well, McCready had a step on Kyle Grove, but they couldn't hook up.
Well, he kept that play alive. The last thing on that graphic that we just saw was create. That means when a play breaks down, what can you do to rescue it, to create the play? I mean, that's what Brett Favre has done in Green Bay for so long, that when things don't go well, they don't go the way you design it, keep it alive and then use your arm. And he just missed that touchdown to McCready.
Ryan Holmes on to attempt a field goal. Holmes just 1 of 4 for the season, and that one was made in his first attempt in week 1. This time, going from 52 yards away, and that's going to be short. Been a big one. Field goals of 50-yard or more, worth 4 points here in NFL Europe. Once again, Scotland comes up empty, though. Big week in the National Football League. Lots of players released because the salary cap gets spread over 2 years. And some big names as usual, but one guy got cut and signed this week. Brian Greasy leaving the Dolphins, going to the Dolphins after being released by the Denver Broncos.
And one guy got paid a lot of money this week.
Well, Brian Urlacher deserves it.
Yeah.
9 years, $57 million.
Well, he has the #1 selling jersey in the entire NFL. And this
Is that guy wearing it?
and this guy doesn't have the leading hat. If you can't identify what's on top of your hat, then I don't think you should be able to wear the hat.
Does that mean you don't have to go to the concession stand once the game begins?
I don't know if that's cotton candy up there, if that's I don't know what that Christmas candy, I don't know what that is.
Sean Hill at quarterback, taking over at the 43. Hit as he throws. That affected
Easy,
the throw,
guys,
still
it's
got
over,
it out
it's
there to
over.
Matthew Hatchett, falls down, and it's incomplete.
Both these quarterbacks are mic'd today, so they got a microphone on them. And every time you hear that pop on your screen, that means the quarterback's getting hit. And this is what this group does here best. I mean, they get to the quarterback. You see him push to the pocket, straight rushing. It's Nate Bowling, 92 right there. Robert Flickinger just got a hit on him, and this is what they missed down the field. Matt Hatchett, again, wide open. But if your quarterback is getting thumped, it's hard to get the ball to him.
Quick pass, thrown out to Carlos Rosado. Rosado with a nice run of 16 yards total on the play, out to the 40-yard line of Scotland.
Sato might be their fastest receiver.
But we talked about his development in this league. I mean, a guy who had 23 catches in 5 years comes to Amsterdam and gets 25, and still part of another game to go.
Well, this is a developmental league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a time when you almost had to try to hide the kids that were from other countries and put them on the field. Now, you get guys that are just part of your defense and offense that can just play it at the same level.
Another quick pass out to Kerry Hood this time. Hood finding his way out before being forced out of bounds by Devon Harper.
Now, just watching Kerry Hood, just initiating the blows there, just attacking defensive backs. And football players are amazing in this sense. But I've played in these games, final game of the season, nothing really to play for as far as a playoff picture. And maybe during the week you're thinking about, your trip home and packing your bags and eating good food and sleeping in big beds. But when you get on the field, your competitive juices just take over.
Easy.
Second and 3. Tellus Redmond.
Get the first.
Just totally got stretched out, nowhere to go. Jermaine Chapman brought him down. But Darnell Robinson was the guy who stretched it out.
Just about everybody in this league plays. And Kerry Clayton right here is now playing center. Craig Osika is out. And there's a little bit of a change there. I mean, Kerry Clayton snaps the ball with his left hand. This man, Osika, snaps it with his right hand. So the quarterback, Sean Hill, he also chews on his mouthpiece. Big part of the game.
He doesn't have the hat on that the guy in the stands has.
No. You see here, here's Kerry Clayton down here. He's got his left hand snapping the ball to Sean Hill.
Play fake. Hill got his tight end, McMullen. And Kirk McMullen just dropped it. Wide open, lots of running room after the catch available for him, but he forgot to make the catch.
No, Kurt, no, you got that wrong. Let me straighten you out here.
Okay.
He wasn't wide open. He was too wide open.
He was alone.
No, yeah, when you're alone, it's the scariest feeling in the world. Because that's what happened to him. That's the best tight end in this league. I mean, he leads all tight ends in receptions, and that was probably the easiest catch he could have made all year.
So on 4th down, Amsterdam going for it. They need just over a yard for the first. They decided to call a timeout right now. This is their first. Sean Hill going over the sideline and talk things over with his head coach, Bart Andrews.
Try to get.
Keep your wedge. Let's do it. You want Jack, keep your wedge?
No, we're gonna go spider.
You okay with this one?
Yeah.
Spider. Slant. Good. We get
Slant spider, huh?
Slant spider. Slant spider. Let's go wedge.
Huh?
Wedge. Oh, we got a yard to go here. Hey, that's a jet. There you go. Be spread out.
Snap count. Watch the ball. Watch the ball. Go stick draw.
Okay, let's do that one.
You're hearing everything. That's Jim Tomsula, the defensive line coach of Scotland. He's saying to his defensive line, watch the ball, because what Sean Hill will do, the quarterback, is he'll try to draw his guys off sides with the hard count. So you remind your defensive lineman, watch the ball and don't listen to the quarterback.
Rip!
Hill working from the shotgun with no backs.
Sit hot!
Under pressure, brought down for the sack. Darnell Robinson does the job. Well, it's an interesting lineup. 4th and a yard, no running backs, your quarterback paid.
Kurt, anytime you don't see running backs in a backfield in any level of football, the defense blitzes. It's an automatic blitz. And that's exactly what happens here. They see no running backs back here. Go kill the quarterback. I mean, that's basically the game. Go kick the stuffing out of the quarterback. And that's just what Scotland did on that play.
Jim Tomsula and those Claymores on defense very happy after the stop and the turnover on downs.
Right? Okay, there we go. We're going to make him squirt. He steps up, the nose makes the play, or the 3 gets it over the top. And
Jim Tomsula, the defensive line coach, still coaching. And why not? His team has stopped Amsterdam twice on downs already in this game.
When we line up and over wide, I want that 3 technique to stretch the hell out of it. And if that guy jumps in, come under him. If he doesn't jump, take it over the top. You got me?
That's my favorite coach in the league. Jim Tomsula is my favorite coach, because see what he's doing there? That's coaching. And it never stops. I mean, he's from Pittsburgh, and he's got some dirt in his mouth, and he's spitting all the time. And he went to Catholic school, at the Central Catholic in Pittsburgh, but that didn't last long. You know, but he's a coach, and he coaches at Catawba when he finishes this
in
North Carolina.
They just didn't
and, you know, he's got players that play for him here, they coach with him at Catawba. He never gets enough.
Trafford.
Shane Stafford now in at quarterback, completes it out to Mike Milan, and Milan picks up 2 yards.
The guy playing over the guard, he's got the breastplate. You got me? You're protecting the pocket two-way go. Everybody else, I don't want you touched. I want you got. Speed all the way. Got it? Let's get him out of the pocket.
About guys from Pittsburgh, Kirk. They never lose their accent. You think about Dave Wannstedt, right? You think about Marty Schottenheimer. You can hear those guys' voices from a mile away. It never changes. Although his daughters that are over here in Scotland have a Scottish accent now.
That's Ken Simonton taking it out of the backfield, and Simonton picks up enough for the first down, a gain of 9 on the play. Troy Grant and Kyle Grove with the tackle.
Shane Stafford's been a good story. You know, played at University of Connecticut, and you know he had some family problems this year where he went home and he came back, and he was really efficient in this offense last week. I mean, threw a couple of touchdown passes, hasn't thrown an interception in a while right now, and now he's running this offense and feeling pretty good about it.
Member of the New England Patriots. Ball at the 48 of Amsterdam. On first down, they fake the screen pass and it's thrown incomplete the other way, intended for Anthony Bright.
Now, one thing about this West Coast offense, Kurt, is, and it's a benefit to all these guys here in Scotland that are playing it, is that about 20 teams in the league run this offense.
Or some version of it.
So the terminology, 22 Texas. You know, I mean, all these different plays, it's the same in every playbook. And so they're getting rehearsals here in the offense that they're going to go back and basically run back in the States.
4 wide receivers, quick pass. That's caught by Scott McCready, another New England Patriot. They pick up 8 yards on the play.
Let me show you, just an example of one of these plays. This is Go Jack Right, 22 Texas. So the Texas is this route right here. Then you run this here and you run this. And then you run there and you got a little fly route here. Well, the quarterback, when he drops back, he's looking at 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle right there.
That's a triangle?
Well, it's a bad triangle because I drew it. But it's a triangle on the field when it's run right. That's why you practice it all the time.
On 3rd and short, Stafford in trouble.
See that?
Well, dropped by Scott Cooper. And that was right there at the first down marker, but that was part of that triangle you talked about.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll come back to it. I mean, this is a play. This is exactly how it would come in to Shane Stafford. You know, the Texas is this back here. He's coming here. That's your one read. Okay, then your tight end here is just running a comeback curl, and then on the outside, you run like this arrow. So here's 3. So here's your progression. They always talk about progressions. 1, 2, 3. He's open, you give it to him right away. You know, and then you always have that guy on the outside that, maybe Favre sees and says, heck, I'm going to go deep on this play.
Scotland going for it on 4th down. Ken Simonton runs it, gets it.
Hey, easy.
4 yards on the run before Glenn Sumter stopped him, and they went with 4th down play and put a running back there and got the first.
Well, every good West Coast offense has a great running back. Here's Simonton. He's going to take it over to the left guard here, Stanlin. And then he has vision and he cuts it back. And, right now he's running with a fullback in front of him. And he said he's had to learn how to do that. Run with 2 backs here. Got a fullback in front of him right now.
First down at the 37. They hand it off to the fullback, Stephen Hutchinson. Hutchinson barrels his way out for a pickup of 5 yards.
See, what I like about the West Coast offense is when you have 2 running backs, first of all, you have a lead back for your running back. Then you have more ways to protect the quarterback. And what this man here, Ken Marjoram, said was, I'm going to show this league that you can have running backs and fullbacks and 2 backs, and you can run this offense like this, and it'll help these kids go back and prepare for the for playing the NFL.
Simonton on 2nd down.
It's over.
Short pickup, about 2 yards on the play. Terrell Washington with a stop.
Hey, just to stay with the whole theme, Kurt, of the West Coast offense, I mean, every good one has a good fullback, and that's here it's Mike Milan, and they have to do a little bit of everything. They got to be a blocker, and here he is blocking on the play. And then they got to be a receiver, and he just clears the hole for Simonton that time. You got to be a receiver, and then you got to be able to run it too. You got to keep the defense honest. So you have to be a 3-way back to be efficient in this offense.
Then you've got to be a lone back in a one-back set like he is right now. They need 2 yards. They give it to Milan, but he's stopped in the backfield. Absolutely nowhere to run as he's chased down immediately by Tony Ortiz.
Now, I think about West Coast offenses and fullbacks. Like in Green Bay, there's William Henderson. You know, and in Detroit, there's Corey Schlesinger. You know, tough guys with big necks.
Tom Rathman was the guy who started it all in San Francisco.
Yeah, he was the first guy in San Francisco, you know, and, you know, big necks. Like they got, everything is thick on them. You know, they got big arms, they got big legs.
But they're squat. They're all squat.
Yeah, and they're squatty. You know,
Why is that?
Because
they get compressed?
You've just been squashed so many times. You've just been squashed. I mean, that's what you are.
They're going forward on 4th down. Needing the 26-yard line. Stafford completes the pass. Tight end Rod Trafford with running room slips down inside the 10-yard line. Todd Howard stops him, but only after a pickup of 21 yards.
You know, that play right there, you know, as Gene Dahlquist, the head coach, sends it in. And then Kenny Marjoram calls it up here. He gives it to Gene Dahlquist, and Dahlquist echoes it to the quarterback. But Kenny said that Bill Walsh has been watching all these games and that he's been evaluating him as a coach. And he may, you know, he kind of gets the red pen out, and this has been good, this was bad, this was a good call. And so you get the guy that started this whole offense, watching your tapes for you, it's a great way to get review.
1st and goal from the 9s. Ken Simonton.
It's over. It's over, guys. Hey.
Pick up of 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards on the play.
You find it unusual or interesting that Bill Walsh is watching these games back?
No. Football guys watch football.
That's what they do, Kurt. I mean, people say, well, why do you play football in the springtime? Well, we like football. And football players and coaches and personnel people, that's what they do. I mean, if they're not watching these games, they're going to watch tapes of games.
Well, not only do players and coaches watch, but general managers and owners, and a lot of these players looking for jobs back in the States, trying to impress those people as well. On 2nd down. Stafford rolling to his left. Keeps it. Forced out of bounds right at the 4-yard line. Masafumi Kawaguchi pushed him out.
Yeah, no, it's a good decision by Stafford. You know, I mean, gets out of the pocket, there's nothing there. I mean, right to the short side of the field, you know, you got to create when it breaks down. See, nothing there on the slant, comes back, tries to, you know, he looked at the triangle, nothing was there. Now, you know, he switched the ball over to his left arm to kind of protect it here. That's a good fundamental, so watch him switch the ball to his left hand. Protect from the outside and get clipped there at the end, but.
3rd and goal from the 4. Shovel pass once again. Fighting did not get into the goal line. Yes, he did. He crossed the plane of the goal. That's a touchdown, Mike Milan. Well, he got spun around. Didn't look like the ball crossed the plane of the goal line, but they gave him the touchdown.
Yeah, well, you know, you're confused here, Kirk, because they play soccer and rugby, you know. So you got lines out there in the field. You know what? I mean, what's the goal line? I mean, which line is this and what line is that? Never seen that on an NFL field before. But, you know, that's where the goalie box is. You know, I'm drawing all over the place now, but yeah, you know, you're not sure which line is which.
That was another bad hole, but this time Stafford got it down and they get the extra point. And so Scotland's defense stops Amsterdam on downs twice. Each time the offense comes back with a Mike Milan touchdown.
I think this league has distinguished itself over the last 10 weeks with some really good defensive linemen. I think Louis Almazar, I think is going to be a good find for Mike Holmgren up in Seattle. We'll see Joey Evans next week in the World Bowl, and then this kid right here, Mike Landry, sort of defines what this league is all about. I mean, Mike Landry was a quarterback in high school, you know, and he was a running back and he was a linebacker. And he's playing defensive tackle for the first time in his life. He's gained 50 pounds over the last year to get ready to do it.
Member of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I saw him just drink a protein drink in between plays, just trying to keep the weight up.
Ramon Adams, the New York Jet, picks it up. Penalty flag down on the play as Adams keeps fighting all the way out to the 40-yard line. Landry taking those big arms and protein drinks and everything back onto the field.
Well, you know, what's the thing you said to me, Kurt? He's 305 pounds.
Doesn't look it.
No, that's a good sign. Guys.
Holding number 25 of the return team. 10 yards, first down.
Jonathan Reese called for the holding penalty, and so Landry will get to march forward a little bit as they'll start deeper in their own territory.
Well, you know, he went to Southern University, a small school in Louisiana, and, you know, he said, I went to defensive tackle. Heck, I couldn't find a football.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, you put those big arms on an offensive lineman, and then you put your head around them,
Can't see.
You can't find a football, and that's what you got to do at that position. So he's learned a lot of technique. He's been well coached by Jim Tomsula. And I think Kansas City's got themselves a player that can at least compete in training camp this year.
And he's got 6.5 sacks, second in the league. Hill, that ball batted around, falls incomplete. Riddell Lockhart was the guy who got a hand on it.
Well, you know, even when he was a quarterback, Mike Landry was strong. You know, I mean, he's got strong arms. He said his butt's gotten bigger. The legs have gotten bigger.
Well, it's hard to weigh 300 and not have a big butt, isn't it?
Well, sometimes it can go in the gut, Kurt. Sometimes it's not in the right places. But for him, it's in the right places. You know, and he does. He's got 6.5 sacks. And this defensive line, when they're not sacking a quarterback, they're either hitting the quarterback or batting the ball down like they did the last play.
They play with 6 guys, rotate them in and out, and all are pretty good.
Yeah, now he's at defensive end.
Hill. Little flare pass. Sandino Octobre with the catch, and he picks up about 6 yards on the run. Dishard Carter in there on the tackle.
Well, he said that, you know, here he is rushing from the end position. Completely different rush outside than it is inside. You know, he's trying to get the edge on him, and he never stops moving. See, you're a defensive lineman. You don't stop running until you hear the whistle. And you never stop because you never know when the play's going to come back to you or somebody's going to chase the quarterback.
Underneath the 34-yard line on 3rd down. Hill brings it down and caught from behind. Chris Ward with the sack, and then part of that strong defensive line. 29th sack on the year, which leads NFL Europe.
Well, I think it's the most active defensive line in this league. I mean, I don't know if they're the best against the run, but they're very active, and they're good athletes, and they rotate 7 guys, and that was a good series.
Timeout.
This man's going to be a little happy right now.
2:07. 2:07, please.
Wait a minute. Oh, you're good. You get up.
There's Tom Sula, a guy who's in charge of that defensive line, and we watched him over at practice on Friday. Use a lot of old school, as they like to call it, techniques. Got guys running underneath chutes and all kinds of stuff.
It doesn't stop. You know, and
We got it now.
defensive line coaches like Jim, they've got sayings like, well, offensive linemen can't fly, and they don't have a shovel. And I'm not sure what that means.
I got no clue.
But his players knows what it means, you know, because they react to it. They listen to it.
We got Indian come down on that running back.
You see, here's Landry here, and then you got Chris Ward coming here. A pretty good sandwich that time.
Jeff Crowell on the punt. Backs up Ken Simonton. Nice punt. All the way to the 17-yard line. Couple of dance moves, and he makes a return of 17 out to the 34-yard line. Takes us to the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes.
Scotland on top
2-minute warning.
by 7. For the Claymores.
You got it?
And, you know,
everybody else is taking off. You got me?
Kurt, his energy level never drops. You talk to his defensive lineman, and they say he's like this every day. Because he's just an excited guy, and I think that he's a guy that has to be considered for a defensive coordinator position in this league. Whatever defense he runs, they're going to get better, and they're going to be wired and ready to play every Sunday.
Scotland begins at the 34-yard line. Shane Stafford to Rashad Kent. And the big tight end rumbles out for a pickup of 9 yards on the play. Kent, another one of those project players, played college basketball. As a matter of fact, hadn't played football since his freshman year in high school until coming over this year. Sent over by the Texans, though.
This is a great opportunity for quarterbacks. And any quarterback you talk to that's ever played here, they said one of the best things about this league is a chance to run that 2-minute drill. The final 2 minutes, where he said you just can't simulate that anywhere else.
An injured player on the play.
You got to manage the clock, right? You got to manage the clock, Kurt. You know, you got to take control of the team. You got to call plays on the fly. You got to get people huddled up.
1:34.
Just getting the clock reset here. They were getting an injured player off the field, and that's why they wouldn't let him snap the ball.
Thank you.
And nothing gets your RPMs. You know, that thing inside that gets your heart going? Nothing gets it racing like this drill. I mean, where your conditioning gets tested, your excitement goes way up.
Especially if you're being chased like that, but nice one-handed catch by Ken Simonton. Penalty marker on the play. Got enough yardage for the first down, but let's see what the flag's about. It's going to come back holding against Scotland.
holding, 66 offense, 10 yards, repeat, second down.
That's called on Big Joe Johnson.
Well, I tell you, they're not kind to offensive linemen. You get a holding call, they pull you right out of the game here, huh?
You got to play like that defensive line.
No,
rotate guys in and out. Rotate.
Offensive linemen don't like to rotate, Kurt. They're such creatures of habit. I mean, if you eat drink orange juice and eat eggs for breakfast, they do it every day. They can't change even the breakfast routine. They're creatures of habit.
If you're an offensive lineman, you got to eat a lot of eggs, don't you?
A lot of eggs.
Simonton out of the backfield again. Picks up another first down. Nice job of recovering after the penalty. 14 yards on the play.
Yeah, that kid just runs hard, doesn't he? I mean, anytime he gets his hands on the ball, what he does is he gets north-south in a hurry.
And Scotland calls the timeout. That's their second timeout of the game.
Timeout, Scotland, their third and final one.
They'll make it their third.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So Scotland uses its final timeout with just over a minute to play here in the first half.
Well, Ken Simonton has been really the star of this football team all year. And he's been really the star of the league.
Yeah, probably the league MVP.
You got a chance. Well, I mean, it's one of those debates. You know, is it Craig Nall, the quarterback? Is it the running back? Is it Kurt Warner, or is it Marshall Faulk? I mean, does it start with the running game and then what he does in the passing game? But I mean, he was a big-time player. Still has all kinds of records at Oregon State. Going to set possibly some records here in this league. You know what he says? He says, "I've got nothing to prove. You know, if people want to see me catch the football, well, I can catch the ball. If they want to see if I can hold up running the ball, 200 times. Well, I'll show them that I can hold up and not get beat down or injured."
Scotland's leading rusher and leading receiver. That one's tipped, knocked out of bounds, incomplete.
And he's had a lot of success, and he said he was really honest. He said he didn't expect to have this kind of success over here in this league. I mean, he came over here and he wanted to show people that he could play, that he wants to play, that he has a love of the game. But then to lead the league in rushing right now, in yards from scrimmage, all those kind of things, he's having a heck of a season.
He started with 4 touchdowns in the opening game against Berlin and hasn't slowed down despite the fact he splits time in the backfield. Stafford again, quick pass. That's caught. John Minardi with the catch, Glenn Sumter with the tackle, but they pick up 16 more and continue the hurry-up mode. Ball now the 41-yard line of Amsterdam. Stafford spikes it, stops the clock.
See, that's good. I mean, come up, you're trying to conserve timeouts right now, stop the clock, get the first down. It's going to go to second down now. You got to keep track of the downs.
Now he's going over to the sideline to talk, and not much time. Remember, there's only 35-second clock. I think he just remembered that. You got to get back out there.
He was taking timeout is what he exactly thought. Now, he has to be reminded that there wasn't a timeout.
Play clock down to 12, so still plenty of time. Amsterdam coming on the blitz. And they get him. Pernell Griffin sacks him right in midfield.
This is a jailbreak because it's supposed to be a quick screen. Watch the offensive lineman bail, and the defensive lineman never stop. Like you're gonna fake it this way and then come back this way, and it's just a jailbreak. You got to at least count one Mississippi or one Philadelphia or something before you release.
Multi-state thing again. Stafford completes that one out. Rashad Kent, the tight end from New Jersey, picks up 4 yards on the play. So they're going to punt the ball, and Amsterdam will get one more shot at it. The sack proved costly. Tellis Redmond back to take the punt. Kevin Stemke, the Miami Dolphin, on the boot it. High booming kick. That one goes into the end zone right by the goal line. Penalty flag down on this play, though. We'll see what the flag's for, as there's only 12 seconds left on the clock.
Jerry Austin, our referee today, played 18 holes on Friday at Royal Andrews.
Well, that's what you do when you come to Scotland, isn't
Sure
it?
59, ineligible downfield, penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchback, first down.
Well, the problem is, do you just play 18 holes? Or, a couple guys in this group played 36, and then Like our director, Mike Frank, he played 126 holes.
But the thing is, he did it in 3 days.
Well, 3 days, but he said this was the most amazing thing. In Scotland, 3 days of golf, right? It rained on one hole. It rained in one hole, 125 out of 126 holes. He said it was like being in San Francisco.
Now, this is St. Andrews, the old course.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where it all started.
The birthplace.
It's where golf began.
And, you know, I mean, just think about how many people are addicted to that game, and that's where the addiction got traced. You can trace the addiction to those green fairways out here in Scotland.
That was the original source. Amsterdam just takes a knee on the final play of the first half. They will go into the locker room with Scotland leading at 14-7. 1/2 left to play here in Glasgow in the final game of the NFL Europe League regular season.
Rolovich up top, open is Johnson, what a grab! And he will bounce his way into the end zone. Emmett Johnson. Nick Murphy, a semifinalist for the Ray Guy Award, his senior year at Arizona State, will kick it away to Kendall Newsom. Grabs it at his own 33. Darts one way, eludes one tackler, looking for a hole! Look out! Can he get the corner? Yes! Lavelle Boyd is the fourth wide receiver in this offense. Grayson will throw on first down. Underneath for Boyd on a dig route. Digging for the end zone, and they can dig it here.
Protection, baby.
On a 3rd down and 9. Hard count by Grayson. 5-step drop. Fires. Great catch, Adams. Touchdown.
Good job.
Chris Finland on a 1st and 10. Will the Dragons go? Yeah, I guess they will. Ask and answer. Moray, touchdown. We welcome in Autry Denson, 8 carries, 64 yards. Autry, you told us the other day, we have to establish the running game. You did just that, and you put an exclamation point on it, didn't you?
Yeah, we just wanted to come out and play round fight football. I mean, we want to be physical, set the tone, and just let things fall in where they may. We felt like the last couple of weeks, we were kind of just getting away from our game, and things were up in the air, and we weren't getting the results we wanted. So we just wanted to, if anything, come out, play our style of football, execute, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, we knew coming out today we had to win, or we were going home Monday morning. So we just came out, knew that we didn't have anything to lose by coming out and playing hard, and we needed a little help from Frankfurt. And you know, they turned the game around, and Frankfurt lost for us, and we just came out and played hard and said, you know what, if we do it, we do it. If not, we're going to go out with a victory.
Red like hot.
Stambaugh has been sacked 3 times already. He's going to step up and scramble to the 10, to the 5. Stambaugh dives in.
That's a heck of a play.
Touchdown.
What are you talking about, Phil?
Red like hot.
Stambaugh on 1st down. Into the end zone. Jet ball caught. Touchdown. Brian Fletcher. 2nd and goal from the 4.
Red 88. Good.
Jonas Lewis hit and in. Touchdown, and Frankfurt is finally on the board. Quinn Gray at quarterback for the Galaxy. And Gray's throw is on the money to Baker at the 30. Baker to the 10. Baker is in. Touchdown, Frankfurt. Gonna go for 2. Remember, they missed a kick.
Yeah. Red 85.
Lester in motion. Gray, little quarterback sweep. Can he get it? Yes, he's in. And right now, the Frankfurt fans are going wild. And I'll tell you what else. The Scottish Claymores and their fans are going wild. They need a Frankfurt win.
Sending a lot of love right now.
To keep them alive in the World Bowl race. 3rd down 5. Gray's throw is intercepted. Picked off by Jamal White. White to the 20, the 10, touchdown.
That's what they needed.
Yeah. 27-14. Frankfurt trailing with the ball. Under 5 minutes left, 4th quarter, and on the doorstep. On 4th and goal. Gray lofts it up. It is broken up and incomplete. Travis Coleman on the coverage.
Basically reflect what we thought we would see. 2 pretty potent offenses putting up some decent numbers for a half.
Well, yeah, I mean, the running game really hasn't been all that too much to speak of. They're 2 good quarterbacks here, the 2 best quarterbacks in this league, and so they're throwing the football and they're getting yards in the air. And we've seen a lot of drops now, and that's reminiscent, I think, because of the wet conditions, the wet field, the rain out here today, and a wet ball. So we'll probably see a little bit more of that, and that's, I think, what is going to determine the second half of this game is who can hold on to the football and not turn it over and make the catches when they're there.
Well, Craig Nall, the quarterback from the Green Bay Packers, looking strong in the first half, completing 7 of his 9 passes, including a touchdown on the opening drive.
Well, you know, he only played the first quarter.
Right.
Shane Stafford played the second quarter, where Sean Hill has played the whole game so far. So you'll see a much better second half, I think, from Craig Nall. In fact, I think you'll see Craig play the rest of the game, and then you'll see better stats as a result. And that's Mike Landry. You see, he's gotten so big that he needs his defensive line coach to tuck him in.
Yeah, that's what coaches do, right?
Well,
lend a helping hand wherever needed.
Well, Jim Tomsula, the defensive line coach, who we heard a lot from in the first half, you know, he's been a security guard, a coach. You know, he's been at Three River Stadium working there when he was a kid. More you can do.
Second half is underway. It's a nice run up the sideline. Finally forced out of bounds. Jermaine Chapman gets it out to the 45-yard line, and Scotland will begin from there.
Well, you know, Craig Nall told us that last week they repeated the first 12 plays of the third quarter of the same plays they ran in the first quarter. And remember, they had great success in an opening drive. I wouldn't be surprised to see Scotland come out here with that type of success right now, running the exact same plays they opened the game.
Ball spotted at the 43. Nall to the air right away. Going up top. Adele Shepard, hand fighting, flag thrown. He and Fred Booker were both going at it. Usually that winds up being on the defensive guy.
Well, Adele Shepard there. Oh, we got 2 flags.
Pass interference, 21 defense, automatic first down.
Booker called by Gerald Austin.
Well, Adele Shepard, I think, is a real good receiver for Scotland. And he probably is a guy that could catch 50 or 60 passes. But they really believe in spreading the ball around. So a lot of guys have a lot of catches here. In fact, 10 different guys have caught touchdown passes for the Claymores.
Shepard's a guy who had 1,500 yards receiving his senior year at San Jose State. There's a guy who's got 2 touchdowns in this game already. Mike Milan, the fullback. He's brought down by Josh Hotchkiss, but only after another first down.
Watch Craig Nall in the pocket here. He wants to hit Shepard on a quick slant. And it's not there. I mean, he's going to look right down here at the bottom. Boom. It's not there. Look how quickly he gets back to the middle of the field and finds his tight end. You can only do that if you know exactly where everybody's going to be every play.
No. Pass incomplete. Scott McCready, the intended receiver, but Nall kind of got a knuckleball out there with that wet football.
You can't talk to a quarterback from Green Bay and not ask him about Brett Favre.
Right, of course not.
It's too obvious. Now, everybody
and he says he loves talking about it.
And he does. And he's been such an influence. In fact, he was intimidated when he first met him because it's Brett Favre, and then he said, oh, he's a millionaire. He's a millionaire, too. Oh, he was intimidated for 2 reasons.
The pitch to Ken Simonton, his first carry. There he goes upfield. Simonton picks up 11 yards on the run, another first down. Todd Howard with the stop.
Well, if Brett Favre is the guy in front of you, you know, I mean, you just want to mirror everything that he does. And so he has a lot of the same idiosyncrasies. Watch him here after he tosses this ball. See? Carries out that fake there. You know, you always see Brett Favre sometimes he jump, you know, like throw a jump fake and do all kinds of crazy things just to try to keep the defense guessing. Well, he's picking a lot of those little things up.
Yeah, 35.
Simonton. Fighting. Ball came out, but he was down. And there you see Nall. He's a guy that, you know, when we met him, not only does he remind you of Favre the way he plays sometimes, but his mannerism a lot like Favre, actually.
Well, not only does he kind of remind you, but he sounds like him. You know, he's from Louisiana, and he's got a Cajun drawl, and, you know, he's a country kid, and he sounds a lot like Brett Favre. And then you sit there and you talk to him, you realize you can sit there and talk football with him all day, just like you do with Brett. He just loves the game.
It's over.
Ken Simonton with a carry on first down, pickup of about a yard on the play.
Hawk.
No, I mean, he sounds like him, he acts like him, he just kind of generally moves about a lot like him. And he said he grew up watching Favre and Favre being one of his heroes. Now he's playing with him, and you can see it'd be hard for him not to pick up a lot of what Brett Favre, and that's, if you're going to pick up after a guy, right? Well, he's a good one to do it. All kinds of time for Nall. Towards the end zone, caught for the touchdown, Idell Shepard.
It looked just like their first drive all over again. Another time where the first two receivers weren't open and he found Shepard in the corner, just understanding the offense, knowing the spacing where everybody's at, reading that triangle, and then finding the open man. That's another touchdown pass now for Craig Nall.
Rob Hart gets the extra point through. Craig Nall, his second touchdown pass of the game, penalty marker down on the extra point.
We have defense, too many men on the field. The point after is good. The penalty will be made on the kickoff.
And so Nall's second touchdown pass of the game, his 18th on the year, puts the Claymores up by 2 scores, 21-7 early in the second half.
Last touchdown throw by Craig Nall. Watch him here. He's looking at this lane here first. Doesn't like what he sees. Again, boom, it's not there. It gets taken away. Understands the spacing. The receivers are spread out. Idell Shepard does a good job of throwing Todd Howard inside, using his body and his strength to come in there and get himself in position to catch that ball. And these are things that he wanted to work on over here. He wanted to play fast. He wanted to work on his setup and his mechanics, the game management, that 2-minute drill, and then when things don't go right and things are broken down, be able to create his own play.
Well, 9 touchdowns and no interceptions in the last 3.5 games. The improvement continues for Craig Nall.
Yeah, he doesn't want this thing to end, I'm sure.
Ramon Adams takes the kickoff, slips. And Mother Nature may get credit for that tackle as the rain continues to fall here in Scotland. Amsterdam will begin with the ball at their own 16-yard line when we come back.
Craig Nall leading the most potent offense in NFL Europe history here this year.
It's not exactly a congratulatory call from the president, but he'll take it, I think, right now.
Heck,
he didn't get the phones to work.
No, well, he got the phone to work, but his coach hung up on him. It's like, I can't believe it.
New quarterback in for Amsterdam, David Priestley, who started, actually, the season with the Scottish Claymores. Was in Buffalo Bills training camp last season, comes in. He's expected to play about a quarter in relief of Sean Hill. Starting from the 16-yard line, Priestley's first pass. And that's complete. Right across the 20-yard line. That's the tight end, Kirk McMullen, stopped by Roel Blindman.
I think for the first time that I can remember, Kurt, every team in this league played at least 2 quarterbacks, every game.
At some point, maybe not half and half,
right. But they got a chance to play. And I think that if you're going to send quarterbacks over here, NFL teams, then they have to play them, because otherwise it makes no sense. At every other position, you're getting playing time, whether it's special teams, backing up. But a quarterback, I think you have to rotate guys, and you have to play them.
Priestley to the air again. Just throws this one out of bounds. All his receivers covered, incomplete.
Well, that's that defensive line, starting out where they finished off at the end of the first half, applying pressure. Quarterback hits Mike Landry, getting up off the ground right now, just got a hit on Priestley. And that's what's really helped out this defense over this 3-game winning streak, is the pressure that defensive line has applied. And they got a 7-man rotation, and those guys just rotate on their own. And they keep themselves fresh. They all know every position, and they just keep shuffling.
On 3rd down, they have to get it to the 27 for the first. Priestley under pressure, gets rid of it too high, and it's almost intercepted. Ubrino Isabel had a drop right out of his hands. Look at him. He knows he missed a big one and may have been able to take it in for the score from where he was.
Yeah, well, it went off of Tellis Redmond's hands first here, number 33. See, Redmond, that's the tip drill. I mean, that's the first drill they do before the game as a linebacker, is they do that little tip drill just so that they can get that interception. They're going to squeeze it, hold it, look it into their hands, and then, make some yards with it.
Jeff Crowell comes on to punt. Ken Simonton back deep, penalty flags fly. Another booming kick by Crowell, backs him up to the 24. Simonton slips and falls after return of 10, but once again, we'll check out the penalty markers.
This crew here this year, in this game here, Kirk, 3 new officials are getting playing time over here, just getting work, that are going to go to the NFL for the first time.
We have 2 penalties on the play. 59 is not up on the line of scrimmage. That penalty will be declined. We have holding during the kick, number 21 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down Amsterdam.
So they get it all straightened out. It actually should be first down Scotland, not Amsterdam.
Correction.
Craig Knoll will come back
Scotland.
out. There we go, Jerry.
Well, Dan Farrell, Gene Steratore, and Greg Steed all are getting time as officials in this league. All college officials before, now being moved up to the NFL level. A couple guys retired this year. A couple NFL referees retired.
So we'll see a couple of veteran faces actually replacing them, though. Guys that have been around the league at other positions. And Peter Morelli, who will work the World Bowl next week here in NFL Europe, will be a referee for the first time next fall. And Walt Anderson, who worked in the Super Bowl last year as a back judge, will get to be a referee next year for the first time as well.
Yeah, going to have his own crew. Where's Walt from? Is he
Sugar Land, Texas.
Sugar Land, Texas.
Sweet, yeah. Sweet Sugar. He's a dentist from Sugar Land, Texas, which I always found ironic. Scott Cooper drops the catch. And there's a guy who's a crowd favorite here, playing his final game. He came back this season, his 8th year in NFL Europe, had retired 2 years ago, but with the World Bowl being here in Scotland and him being a Glaswegian native, decided to come back and play one more year, hopefully to get a chance in that
Not
World
just
Bowl.
a local Glaswegian, but he's got a PhD. And you're the only one. You're the only one that knows what it is.
Organometallic and polymer chemistry.
That's what I'm talking about. You're the only one that knows that.
Ken Simonton with the carry, flags down on the play, and looks like the defensive front from Amsterdam jumped too early.
So if you get a PhD, does that make you a doctor?
Yeah.
So you're a doctor of what then, if that's what you are?
Organometallic and polymer chemistry.
Offside, 5 yards, repeat, second down.
It is on Amsterdam.
So do you write that on your office, on your doctor's office?
You don't have a doctor's office. You don't get to see patients just because you're a chemist, okay?
Okay.
Now, we got a lot of smart people all around us.
Yeah, we do.
Now our stats guy up here in the booth is a native of Canada, actually, who's working over here in Scotland.
And he's a doctor of what?
Well, not yet. He's working. He's getting his doctorate right now
I never
in
heard
glacial
this before.
studies.
Yeah, he's studying glaciers.
So if
he's
studying
them so hard, he's becoming a doctor of one.
Well, Craig Knoll goes down for the sack, and hopefully he won't need a doctor after that hard hit.
You can't believe it's a sack. He wasn't down.
Yeah, he was still fighting to get rid of the ball. Terrell Washington had him wrapped up, and they blew the whistle.
Well, the progress had stopped. I mean, that's that thing where they're trying to protect quarterbacks. So if he's what they call in the grasp, right, where he stopped his momentum, then they throw the flag to try to protect him so more guys don't try and knock his block off.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You knocked my block off? No, out to Simonton. Simonton slipped before he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Scotland goes backwards on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time with Craig Null at quarterback. I think the offense has been stopped in about 3 weeks now.
Certainly the first 3 and out we've seen from them today.
You got 2 punt returners back right now. So watch for some trickery here of Scotland, some kind of reverse action.
That's Eugene Baker and Tellis Redmond. Redmond takes it.
There it is.
Tried to throw it. That's a live football. And it looked like Amsterdam fell on it. And they did. They hold on to possession, but
that was
talk about living dangerously.
Well, that was one of the ugliest looking plays I've ever seen in my life, Kurt. I mean, you see these 2 punt returners back there, you know, you got the heads up for some kind of trickery, but then the trickery never started. Some of the better linebackers over here in NFL Europe this year. We'll see Charles Burton next week with the Rhine Fire. Led this league in tackles this year. Tito Rodriguez down in Barcelona, and Dwayne Levels as well. And one of my favorite, Josh Simonette. I'm an undersized kid. Came out of Middle Tennessee State. Pretty good players there in Jacksonville. Watch this trick play.
This is not a pretty good play.
No.
Bally's worst.
Yeah,
is that your worst play of the season?
Well, that's one of the ugliest plays. I mean, that goes right to the follies of NFL films there. You know, it's like one of those plays that like the New Orleans Saints ran with Archie Manning.
Yeah.
You know, when the ball just got kicked around. It's like it looks like one of those bad things you would do on 4th of July picnic.
Getting ready for summer, that's what they're doing. They hold on to possession, though. Ball at the 43-yard line. David Priestley hands it off to Tellis Redmond. Redmond gonna dance his way for a pickup of just about 1 yard on the play. Rob Flickinger with the tackle.
Really, this Amsterdam offense today has never gotten the passing game going. And the guy that we started talking about right at the beginning, Matt Hatchett, right in your screen here. I mean, he's been quiet, really, since the first and opening drive. And he had about 8 catches 2 weeks ago against Scotland. I mean, he was their go-to guy all day.
Just that one big catch for 31 yards that they got the penalty on as well. Priestley throws it behind his intended receiver, Kirk McMullen. Falls incomplete.
Well, one of the reasons why we haven't heard from Hatchett is just the pressure that this defensive line continues to put on the quarterback, whether it's Sean Hill or David Priestley. Neither one of them have any time to set up.
You see, Hatchett had 81 yards receiving last week against Berlin. That snapped his streak of 4 straight games where he'd been over the 100-yard mark. But he still got a 101-yard punt return.
Well, he knew the rules. He knew the NFL rules. That's why he was able to get away with a 101-yard punt return.
On 3rd down, beneath the Scotland 47. Quick pass out to Tellis Redmond. He's running sideways. Finally picks it up. Jermaine Chapman knocks him out right there at the 1st down marker.
Pretty good effort. Pretty good effort just to stay on his feet that time. Amsterdam has about 4 running backs. We've seen a bunch of them. Jonathan Reese and Tellis Redmond. They just keep rotating those guys, trying to keep them fresh. They had a kid that played there last year, Raphael Cooper, you know, and ended up going to Detroit, stuck on the practice squad most of the year. And then late in the season, gave Raphael Cooper a chance to play at over 100 yards in a game.
Amsterdam going with the empty backfield. Movement. And all the Scotland players are pointing to Lawrence Smith, the left tackle for Amsterdam.
75, 5 yards. It's still 1st down.
They were pointing at him for a reason.
They were moving.
There's Jim Tomsula working the sidelines. He'll alert his guys. As soon as that back gets out of the backfield, he'll make sure his guys know about it. You'll hear that Pittsburgh accent come right across the field.
Another flag.
False start, 72 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
This time it's the other side of the line. The right guard, Thomas Moody, moving too early. So back-to-back false start penalties has backed up the Amsterdam offense to their own 43-yard line once again.
You see this group right here right now?
Yes.
They got one thing on their mind, and that's sacks. I mean, it's all about sacks to those guys right now.
Well, they've got
Look,
30
there's nobody
on the
else
year.
in the picture.
Lead NFL Europe, and they get another one. Sack number 31 on the season. This time is T.J. Bingham.
Yeah, I mean, T.J. Bingham here, who's had a good season over here this year.
His 6th sack.
Yeah, I mean, he just got a great jump working in the middle. I mean, T.J. is one of those guys who can play end or tackle. He was at right defensive tackle that time. Just got a good outside rush, and that's how they're thinking right now. They know they have to throw the football. Quarterback's going to have to drop up. They're not thinking about the run at all. I mean, all they're thinking about is getting to the quarterback as quickly as possible.
T.J., an ordained minister out of Ouachita Baptist. Quick pass out. There's Matthew Hatchett, but Hatchett fights to get back to the previous line of scrimmage. Dyshad Carter in on the tackle. Still a long way to go. And
well, let me just say this to you.
Yes.
You know, money can be a good incentive for just about anybody, anywhere. Well, you get a certain amount of money if you lead the league in your category, receiving and sacks. And so these defensive linemen out there are thinking, I'd like a little bit of money to go home to my favorite gumbo restaurant, you know, and eat some gumbo for a month before training camp.
On 3rd down, they've got to get it to the 37-yard line of Scotland and got to complete the pass first. That one dropped by Carlos Rosado, incomplete. And so Amsterdam was marching, but a couple of false start penalties seemed to get them all shooken up, and they can't make up for it.
Well, we're out here in Scotland in the rain here today, Kurt, and we're getting ready for the World Bowl next week. We don't have all of our stat people we're going to have next week. Otherwise, we'd be telling everybody how many drop passes there's been today. Probably a good thing that we don't have all those people today.
I'm sure some of the players are happy. Ken Simonton just watches that one roll, and it's going to roll down. Did he get in the end zone?
No, that's
touchback. Took the football with him as he slid in there, did Jonathan Reese.
In the end zone with the ball, that's a touchback.
They got Vinatieri in range. This would be from 48 yards out. And it's right down the pipe. And the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36. Unbelievable.
Oh, the dulcet tones of Pat Summerall reminding us that Adam Vinatieri, also like Kurt Warner, a former member of the Amsterdam Admirals, who went on to the National Football League and win a Super Bowl. You got to work with Pat last year.
Yeah, what a
How
great
much fun
year.
was that?
Oh, that was a good time. That was a good time. And, you know, talking about somebody that's been as a player or broadcaster 52 years in this business, I felt like, you know, I became a pretty good historian of the game, and just a tremendous respect everywhere you went, everywhere he went.
Craig Knoll, the quarterback, back in, and that one is thrown for an interception, picked off by Keon Moore, and Moore forced out of bounds right at the 10-yard line. That's the first interception in the last 4 games thrown by Knoll.
Yeah, he's not happy about it either, because he threw the ball behind his receiver off his back foot, just trying to get his footing on a wet surface here today. You know, and then you allow Amsterdam to kind of get right back into this game. Deep in your own territory.
Ball right down at the 10-yard line after the return by Moore. So good field position for the Amsterdam Admirals, beginning at the 10-yard line. They hand it off. Tellis Redmond cuts it back through the hole into the end zone for the touchdown. Redmond with his second score of the day, both on the ground, and gets them to within a touchdown.
Well, they capitalized on the turnover.
Quickly.
Yeah, right away. And all of a sudden, you go from down 21-7, and it looks, you know, it doesn't look like you can put anything together, and you get right back into the game, and that's the game of pro football. It can turn in an instant, change on a play, and in all, isn't happy at all because he thought he had a guy wide open in the hole and couldn't tell if it was thrown behind him or if he dropped it. We've seen enough drops today.
Silvio Diliberto on for the extra point. And it's a 7-point ball game. Tellus Redmond, Craig Nall will not be with us coming up on Saturday, but if you want to find out just who will and much more about World Bowl 2003, the 11th edition, here in NFL Europe, simply log on to worldbowl.com. Get all the latest on next Saturday's World Bowl championship game right here at Hampden Park in Glasgow, Scotland.
Well, both those teams, have great organizations. Frankfurt and Rhein, they have great fans, so you'll see a number of German fans coming from their respective teams. So they'll have a turnout. They love the game there in Germany, and those two cities particularly. They've both been in World Bowls before.
Well, each team appearing in its record 5th World Bowl.
Yeah, and they played together. They've won against each other.
And each has won twice. So both teams meeting, trying to become a 3-time champion here in NFL Europe. That would make them the first franchise to do that. They're already the first franchise to make it to the World Bowl 5 times.
And these Claymore fans are, they're not happy because they really expected to be vying for a championship next Saturday, and they're not going to get that opportunity.
Little squib kick. Jermaine Chapman scoops it up. Fights his way back out to about the 30-yard line, and Scotland will take over for there. Craig Nall coming back in after throwing that interception that basically led to the touchdown. Let's see how he bounces back.
Hey, this game ain't over. Let's go. Pick it up.
Well, that's his job right there, to pick it up. That you want to finish strong. I mean, all these players from both teams fly to Frankfurt tomorrow, and then Frankfurt to points everywhere. I mean, all over the United States. Some of them get direct flights. Some of them have 3 or 4 different legs. But you want to go out on a winning note, and you want to feel good about your experience.
So Keon Moore feels good after picking off Nall
Timeout,
on that last pass play. As Scotland comes out and then calls a quick timeout.
They said we were in you, but we didn't have a fullback. Plus, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Speak on ace, right?
I asked what we were in, and he said you.
No. We're in H, and it's check for pin.
That's what I was going to. Fucking you.
Fathers came over here to watch him play this weekend, play some golf during the week, and hopefully see his son play in the World Bowl next week. And I guess the golfing will still take place, but he's not going to get him to see his son playing a championship game.
The toss to Ken Simonton. Simonton with a hard 6-yard run, and there he is. You said it earlier. Every time he gets that ball, he has north and south quickly. This kid sent over here by the Buffalo Bills, and thinks that he's done everything he needs to show people in the National Football League that he is ready to play on Sundays.
Well, not only that, Kurt, but whatever happens to him, whether he makes it in Buffalo or he doesn't, he's fine with it all. Because he said, I gave it everything I had. I know it's not about my talent. I know that I have the talent to play, but somebody has to recognize that and see it.
Nall off the play fake, hit hard, knocked down. I mean, right immediately, Tony Ortiz popped him, and Nall was lucky just to get rid of that football. Well, if you're going to be like Brett Favre, you got to be happy to get hit, right?
Well, he told us yesterday he likes to get hit. I don't know like this, though.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry, huh?
Well, no, that's what it sounds like when bones break. No, not doves cry. That's what bones, but he doesn't want to go home with bones broken. I mean, he wants to stand on 2 feet tomorrow.
They need to get it to the 40, and Simonton does just that. Nice 7-yard run out to the 42-yard line.
That's a dream for any defensive player to get the run, a straight-on run at the quarterback. He said, that when he gets hit, it kind of makes him focus, and it gets his juices flowing. And so we'll see what kind of juices he gets flowing, from those kind of hits.
First down for the Claymores. Here comes the blitz again. They hand it off. Ken Simonton lowers his head right into the pile. Fights his way for a gain of about 3 yards on the run.
said red 35. Red 35. Hut.
No. Going up top. That's John Minardi, who tiptoes along the sideline, makes the catch. Finally wrestled out of bounds by Fred Booker, but only after pickup of 27 yards.
Hey, Kurt, that time Craig Knoll got protection. Watch the center here, Sukanik. Pick up the blitz. See, boom, he eats up the middle linebacker. He picks him up. That gave Knoll time to work on Minardi, who leads his team on touchdown catches. See, Booker never saw the ball. I mean, if you're a defensive back, you've got to find the football, because that's where the receiver's going.
Ball at the 34-yard line. No. Quick pass thrown behind his tight end, Rod Trafford, incomplete.
Jason Sukanik, the center that we've been listening to a little bit today, his nickname is Skunk. So, only an offensive lineman can have a nickname of Skunk and like it,
right.
And think that's a good thing. Like, they're being, that's a regal name right there when you get called Skunk.
He said green 92. Green 92. Hut.
Ken Simonton bounces it around the outside. Forced out by Masaka Maguchi, and then flexes for a little bit of a pose afterwards.
Just watching the Skunk down there, he was in a couple of places. He started off in Denver this year. Was the dean of offensive line coaches, and now he's on his way out. He's semi-retired. Then he went to Tampa for 13 weeks, and this man, Bill Muir, been around the league for over 20 years. He got him there, and he learned a lot from him. And then Don Eck, his offensive line coach here, has done a great job with this group, molding this group. They're well coached all year.
38.
Third and short, they need the 24. No. Hands it off. That's the fullback. Mike Milan slips a couple of tackles. Milan loses the football, and Amsterdam recovers.
Milan thought that he was going in for his third touchdown today.
Yeah, he's already got two. Terrell Washington recovered the fumble this time, and Amsterdam with another turnover.
Nobody can hang on to the football. I said that'd be the difference in this football game. Well, that's just that kind of that fake pass, and then that Statue of Liberty almost, and now here's Milan. So he gets the stiff arm in, and that's Keon Moore. Again, remember,
he got the interception on the last possession, yes.
And Keon Moore, he started off the season with the Scottish Claymores. Went through training camp with them.
Sean Hill back in at quarterback. Starting at their own 10-yard line. Tellis Redmond slides down, close to that first down marker. That's the final play of the third quarter. Amsterdam's defense creating a couple of late turnovers, pulling them to within a touchdown. One of the great buildings here in Glasgow, the Art Gallery and Museum. And you know what, Baldy, I went in there, and I asked what the pictures were. I'm still not quite sure, because I have a hard time understanding the Scotch.
Well,
great people,
well, they don't
people.
Put the artist there? They don't say who the artist is?
Well, I like to talk to people.
No,
reading's not my bag. I like to talk to people.
I see. So they don't know who the artists are that drew these things?
No, they explain it to me. I just don't understand the English they're speaking.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's the problem.
It's a whole different language. It is. Wonderful to listen to. But you're not really sure exactly. You got to say, 3 or 4 times before it starts to sink in.
First down at the 20. Ramon Adams with the carry and picks up just over 5 yards on the play. You know, Baldy, a name we have not called a whole lot today. You mentioned earlier Matthew Hatchett, far exceeding every other receiver in this league by 21 catches coming into this game, but so far only 2 catches today for 37 yards.
Yeah, and nothing big. No big deals. He was a guy that came from Langston College. I mean, he grew up in Ohio. He went to Langston College in Oklahoma. And he said that.
Once again, Adams hit right at the 29-yard line hard by Isaac Keys. Gain of 4 in the run.
Going back to Matt Hatchett, he played at Langston College. A lot of these kids from small schools. He said he didn't have a wide receiver coach in college.
He was the wide receiver coach.
Yeah, he was the coach. So what he started his own drills. You know, it wasn't like like Jerry Rice going out there and saying, "Okay, guys, let's catch slant passes right now." You know, you come from a small school. You got to coach yourself basically. You got to go get the footballs out of the bag to throw with.
They got the first down. Hill over the middle towards Hatchett, falls incomplete thanks to Isaac Keys, who got in there and knocked it away.
Well, one of the reasons why a lot of these kids are over here is because they were their own coach in college. And they haven't had a lot of coaching. I mean, a lot of small schools. You tell me about Doane College. You know, I mean, you always know, Kurt, you always know that it isn't a big school when it ends in an institute. You know, I mean, they're just small schools, and so you kind of have to kind of do everything. You travel by bus, and you didn't get the opportunities that you got if you came from a major division school.
Hill fumbled the snap, picked it up, and was brought down by Ubernal Isabel.
Here you go, right here the ball.
That wet ball causing all kinds of havoc all of a sudden. The rain continues to come down here in Glasgow.
Well, the most important person at the game today is the guy that's got to drive the ball.
Well, the umpire there trying to dry things off, and you know, on a day like this, that's not an easy job for Dan Farrell.
Well, you know, Dan Farrell is going to the NFL this year, and let me tell you, if the towel is out in the rain, the towel can't be dry. Right. So you got to find a dry towel before he can dry the ball.
3rd and long, they need to get it to the 40. Hill throws it to Ramon Adams out of the backfield, and he slips down right at the 35-yard line, about 5 yards short of the first.
My ball, Gerald.
One thing to consider is they had a big soccer match on this field yesterday. Big,
huge. Scotland against Germany, a qualifier for the European Championships.
Yeah, but you know, the soccer season never ends. I mean, you know, the Premier League ends, and then they play these qualifying matches, and then they go to Spain and they play a match.
And don't forget the friendlies.
Yeah, for whatever they are, and there's nothing friendly about those matches. But it never really ends.
Jeff Crowell on the punt. Ken Simonton picks it up on one hop.
Oh, can't get that fair catch signal and then take off.
He called for the fair catch.
Yeah.
Then took it. But once that ball hits the ground, isn't he allowed to pick it up?
The fair catch signal should be off at that point.
Yes, the ball bounced.
And that may be the discussion right now. Yeah, you know, the fair catch signal is only to catch the ball. That's why they call it fair catch.
Here's the call from Jerry Austin.
Receiver, signal for a fair catch. He's restricted from running if he had caught the ball. When he hit the ground, the restriction's off. There is no foul.
So the ball hit the ground, and he's allowed to pick it up and run with it. Everything's A-OK.
Well, it's a very special day for one man in the stadium today, and I'd like you all to join us in wishing Coach Lee.
You saw a signal for the fair catch, which is fine. Had he caught it and then ran with it, that would have been illegal. But because the ball hit the ground, he can do whatever. Scotland takes over, up by 7.
Well, you know, they're on camera right now. They're on the big screen here, so you think once they see themselves on camera that they'd get a little more excited about it.
Well, they're waiting for the girls.
Yeah, see, they got to wait for the music, though. And they got to wait, and they're going to follow. When these girls go, then they'll go.
Oh, now they're being embarrassed. Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, okay, all right, let's watch them here. And see, they looks like they're having a hard time following, Kurt. I can relate to that.
Rhythm not your thing. I've seen you dance.
No, I blame it all on my mom.
First down from the 30-yard line. Ken Simonton fights his way out for a gain of 11. That kid's tough to bring down. Pernell Griffin finally stopped him, but once again, double digits on a run for Simonton.
Yeah, and he just continues just to run hard. You know, again, getting north-south. You know, he seems to be the one guy out here that doesn't slip.
Why is it some guys, no matter what the conditions, always seem to be able to keep their feet?
Well, you know, they call those guys mudders. You know, they're just good in the mud. And I think that's a product of guys change their style a little bit. You know, they run with a shorter stride.
No. Out to Simonton.
Watch, I mean, I don't think there's anything different about his shoes. He's got the same tape on his shoes everybody else does. But I think some of it is, and he's probably going to get mad at me, but he's got stumpy legs. Right. And stumpy leg guys seem to be better in the mud. You know, short legs are shorter to the ground, less leg to get to slide, smaller feet to slide on.
Certainly seems to work for him, whatever it is. He's one of the few guys able to hold his feet. You see already over the 100 total yard mark today. hand it off to him again. Lost the football, fell on top of it.
That was a good hit. That was a good hit.
It's a nice pop by Pernell Griffin, just coming in there and hitting it right on the football.
You know, here's the thing now. I mean, he gets popped now, okay? And the ball's out. There's the hit, boom. Now you got to go get the ball. So you got to have the stumpy legs that get to the ball. I mean, you got to. Anything you can do to go cover that ball up, you got to do it. It's good to have those kind of legs up in Buffalo, where you get a lot of this kind of weather.
If you're lucky, you're getting this kind of weather in December.
Really. You know, but mutters are good in the snow too.
Mike Milan, the fullback, trying to fight for the first down, not going to get there, as Tony Ortiz and several other Amsterdam Admirals stopped him a couple yards short.
Yeah, they're gonna punt this ball, even though this is a good decision to punt it away right now. Third is very short, probably about a yard right now. Fourth and about a yard, but that midfield right now, you don't want to give Amsterdam a short field.
Tellus Redmond on to take the punt from Kevin Stemke, the Miami Dolphin. Stemke, left footer, gets it off. Redmond from the 14-yard line. And unlike Ken Simonton, he slips and goes down. After a return of 10 yards, Simonton and the Claymores holding on to that touchdown lead by just a little more than a foot.
Oh, the defensive back, some of the best over here this year. You're seeing one out here today at left corner for the Claymores. Devron Harper came out of Notre Dame, played for the Carolina Panthers for a while. Chris Cummings, you'll see him next week, along with Rashidi Barnes. And then the guy we're watching out here today, Greg Sumter, who leads the Admirals in tackles this season. Devron Harper, I think, is a guy that can go on, and is a free agent, can go on and catch on with the football
there's
team.
Sumter from the Houston Texans, and you might have to add Keon Moore to the list the way he's played today. An interception and a forced fumble for Amsterdam's defense.
No question.
Admiral offense takes over at the 23-yard line. Movement before the ball was snapped.
False start, 71 offense.
It's called on Craig Osika.
Craig Osika is from the 49ers. And he said this has been the greatest experience of his life. Now, he's a guy that has a fiance back home and hasn't seen her in 4 months. Greatest experience of his life, playing with these guys. And
bad snap. Once again, that wet football, and it comes out. Scotland recovered.
Well, maybe this isn't the greatest experience of his life. Maybe it just changed.
It was until those last two plays with a false start and then the bad center quarterback exchange, TJ Bingham with the recovery.
Yeah, I jinxed him. You can never talk about an offensive lineman without something bad it seems happening to him.
And Bingham, who already has a sack in this game now, gets a fumble recovery as well. He'll get to go home with a smile on his face.
Now, does he have room in the bag for the football?
Yeah, the bag's already packed.
You only get 2 bags when you come over here. That's all you get is 2 bags. I wonder if he has room to put that football in.
38, cut.
Taking over at the 16-yard line, Ken Simonton.
Easy, it's over.
Fights for a gain of 3.
Yeah, see, TJ Bingham is with the Kansas City Chiefs. You see the arrowhead right there on the jersey. Tremaine Joseph, he's a twin. He's got a twin brother. And he transferred to Ouachita Baptist because that's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be a Baptist minister.
And we mentioned he's already an ordained minister.
Yeah.
Ouachita Baptist. Where does that come from?
Hey,
Cliff Harris. There you go.
Captain Crash with the Cowboys.
No, throws it up. Scott Cooper tried to go up and get it. Fred Booker wouldn't let him.
Scott Cooper, well, I mean, you know, he caught his 100th pass last week. It was a touchdown. I mean, how nice was that? Dr. Cooper, nice job of trying to go up to his highest point. Pretty good hand checking going on.
And we mentioned this is his last game for a guy who grew up here in Glasgow and has been playing with the Claymores.
Well, I hear that he may be kind of a sideline reporter for us next week.
That's what the rumor is?
Yeah, the rumors has it.
I wonder where that rumor came from, huh? On 3rd down.
It was a trick play. Going to be a pass here.
The tight end has it, throwing towards the end zone. Bobbled around, incomplete. Scott Cooper had a chance at it. Troy Grant got there first, but still, the ball hit Cooper afterwards.
See, Rod Trafford was a high school quarterback, and he's left-handed. And they put him in motion here. Here he comes. And they flick it to him. Pretty good job of trying to set up. Kind of looks like Kenny Stabler running out there to his left.
With a little size.
Yeah, with a little more size. Trying to get that ball to
My
Cooper
front
again.
toe. My front toe.
Tony Ortiz, the
Media.
injured Admiral, down on the field right now. As Scott Cooper, they tried to get him a touchdown here in what's going to be his final game as Ortiz hops up. And he's a guy who, we talked earlier about not being able to understand what people are saying, even though they're speaking the same language. He works as a translator, basically, for his teammates.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Of course, they can't really understand him either, but they do the best they can.
Well, I hope that the audience in the United States next Saturday during the World Bowl gets a chance to listen to a real Glaswegian accent.
It's gone.
The field goal by Kevin Stemke is good. So the Claymores extend the lead out to 10 points midway through the fourth quarter.
Some of the specialists that I think excelled throughout the year over the last 10 weeks. Jim Morgan, the punter from Frankfurt, and Robert Baker. You'll see both those guys next week in World Bowl 11 right here on Fox. And then David Allen. Nice job.
That kid looking for a special place to sleep. Forget special teams. He's had about his fill, and this, the final game of the regular season, is.
Now, I'm telling you what, Kurt, if Amsterdam scores, that kid will be awake, okay? I mean, he'll wake up to see if this game gets tight. I mean, right now he thinks Scotland's got this thing in the bag.
Yeah, not worried about it, right?
Yeah, but you remember how he used to fall asleep on the couch on Sundays watching games as a kid, but then you wake up when the game got good.
Well, tell us Redmond giving him something to wake up and see. Runs it back into Scotland territory. Ryan Holmes finally forced him out of bounds, but another nice return by Redmond.
See if that kickoff return, which puts Amsterdam in scoring position right away, if that wakes up the little child. Maybe not.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, well, you got to find him.
And that brings Sean Hill back in.
Sean Hill's awake, though. Yeah. He wants to throw a couple more touchdown passes and come away with the win before he gets out of here today.
Just over 7.5 minutes left to play for Hill and both these teams.
Set up.
Ball at the 45. Ramon Adams nowhere to go. Loses a yard on the play. Nate Bowling stopped him.
Well, this defensive line has been active today. I mean, shot of Rod Trafford, played football at South Carolina. Still tucked away. No threat yet.
Hill from the shotgun. Under pressure.
It's over, it's over. Hey, hey.
Fourth of the day for this front four from Scotland. TJ Bingham gets his second.
Yeah, you know, and talking to some of the defensive linemen, you know what motivated them, Kurt? They just want American food. They just want cheeseburgers, and they want gumbo, and they want, you know, chafalaya. They just want real food, and that's what's motivating. I mean, that's what motivates most big guys.
What is chafalaya?
That's that stuff.
Some Cajun stuff?
Yeah, it's Cajun food. Yeah.
I've been to New Orleans. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, chafalaya. I think I'm saying it right.
Hill on third down. Pass out for Rosado. Tip drill incomplete. Gabriel Isabel thought he might have had an interception, but no good.
Yeah, you know, if you had to give away an MVP of this game right now, it's that whole defensive line of Scotland. I mean, you can't even single out one guy. But Sean Hill, who came in completing 62% of his passes into today's game, I mean, he hasn't had much chance to sit back and scan a defense.
They put pressure on and without blitzing. Most of it coming from that front four. Jeff Crowell, who's punted well today. Another high booming kick. Simonton makes the fair catch this time, right at his 9-yard line. 6 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Scotland holding on to a 24-14 lead in the final game of this regular season.
Look, we come over here every year, and we really enjoy our time over here. We like this league. We like the development, but you can't just, I mean, you got to go someplace to talk about football. So that place, Massimo's, right here in Glasgow. Dino runs it. I mean, that's the best.
Wouldn't have anything to do with the fact we're coming back for the World Bowl next week, and you might want to eat there again, would it?
Yeah, I want those free hors d'oeuvres again. But, you know, then you go to Amsterdam and you see this, and
big cool down, a great nightlife. And these guys, I don't know where they've been, but they've certainly had a good time over here as well. From the 10-yard line, Scotland begins, and Ken Simonton begins to run out the clock.
Well, you know, for any Americans that want to come over next week and see this game on Saturday, I mean, you get down to Barcelona, you can see Sitges. I mean, you know, the best fans. They're Frankfurt Galaxy are in World Bowl 11. They'll be here next week. You know, and then my favorite language is the Scottish language. I mean, that's because a whole different language.
We can't call it English because it's not. I mean, it's Scottish. It takes on its own form because the American form is basically, huh? Because that's what you're asking all the time. 6-yard pickup on that one. Simonton, once again, going to be close to that first down marker.
Yeah, you know, you can't tell Ken Simonton that this game doesn't mean anything. This is the last game. To him, this is just all a warm-up for training camp in Buffalo. And some kids, you know, they come over here and, you know, they're just happy to have a job and to play some pro football. But then there's some kids come over with the focus that they're here for a specific reason. And this is just merely a step to a future and a long career in the NFL. You get the feeling Simonton has that kind of focus.
Yeah,
it's over. Hey, no.
Needed a yard, actually a little bit less than that for the first down. Lowered his head, and we'll see if he got it.
Now you look at the arms of any workhorse running back in pro football, Kurt. And their
Are they stumpy too?
Well, they're stumpy arms, but you know, but they have to be. But at the same time, they get cut up, they get gnarled, they get bruised. Because look at your arms are the first thing that you hit. You know, you're running into helmets with those arms and shoulder pads. And I was looking at Simonton's arms yesterday. I mean, they're scarred from the elbows all the way down. And the hands are beat up.
He picked up the first down for them. They pitch it to him, and he picks up 11 more yards. Troy Grant finally with the stop, but Simonton right now at the 99-yard mark, looking for another 100-yard game as he heads home.
Well, watch him here. I mean, you know, he just ran for the tough 1 yard to get the first down. Now watch him here. See, he's got to choke it down a little bit, let the receivers get their blocks, you know, and then you have to run under control. And still, I haven't seen a kid slip today. On this field where everybody else has slipped, he's got his feet underneath him, hanging on to the football.
Leading rusher in NFL Europe this season. Simonton.
Easy. Hey, Kurt, look, he didn't get anything on that game.
No, it's just
nothing,
short of the
right?
line of scrimmage as the flag comes by.
But, you know, sometimes there's just nothing there. So you just have to put your head down and just go get what you can
foul,
get.
87 offense, late hit, 15 yards, loss of down, second down.
That's a late hit on the tight end. Rod Trafford called for the personal foul.
Well, the enemy of Amsterdam right now is the clock at 3 minutes and 14 seconds
well,
left.
And Ken Simonton, the back who can eat up that clock as well.
Well, you know, that's when a lot of backs gain their yards, Kurt. You know, a lot of their yards. In the fourth quarter, they're trying to eat the clock. They feed it to the running game, and and that's when they break big runs. You know, the defense is tired, they're worn out. Things are slipping away from them. That's when you see backs gain, you know, big yards. That's a good day for Simonton. What is that, 4 100-yard games?
Fourth 100-yard game of the season. And he keeps on adding to it.
Easy, it's over.
Continues to ground out that clock. Crossing the 20-yard line out to the 21. Give him 4 more yards.
Timeout, Amsterdam. Their first, it will be a 30-second timeout.
Right now, Simonton roughly 60 yards away, if he can bust one big play, from setting the NFL Europe League career rushing record, or combined yardage record for rushing and receiving, which Lawrence Phillips set
That is
back in
Amsterdam's
1999.
second timeout.
4 years ago.
So,
They
I mean,
have
he's
one
putting up
remaining.
not just a good game, not just a good
2
season,
timeouts
but
for Amsterdam.
one of the best
One remaining.
seasons in the history of this league.
We woke Simonton up from a nap on Friday to talk to him. And he came down. He was very gracious, been good with his time, good with the media all year long. But, you know, he gets the same questions from everybody. You know, what are you here to prove? And he said he's got nothing to prove. I love the game of football. I think I know how to play it. If somebody wants, you know, a 5'9", 200-pound running back, that's me. And I'll give it everything I got every week, every day.
Amsterdam showing the blitz. Flags come out. Simonton looking to break that run.
There's that run. See? That's when it happens, Kurt.
Finally brought down deep in Amsterdam territory, 47 on that run.
I think it was offside, so the defense...
It looked like the defensive front jumped too quickly.
But that's what we were just saying. That
offside on the nose tackle of the defense. Penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and how often do you see that, Kurt? You know, I mean, you just keep pounding him, and that's the guy. Watch this. I mean, you get the offsides right here, but now he breaks out of the pack. Now his vision takes over. This is what all good backs have. Where's the opening? And now he's on his horse. And now it's time to... Pretty good job of covering that ball up, and those stumpy legs, you know, they don't look so stumpy when he's running full speed like that.
And suddenly that all-time record is within reach. Ball at the 32-yard line. The pitch to Simonton. Now, he doesn't mind taking a hit, does he?
Well, how many backs do you see after make a run like that, stay in the game,
That's true,
and take the next pitch?
Usually they go out for a breather often. There we go.
That's the signal right there.
Like, what am I doing still in here?
Yeah, right. Let me get a little air here. A little water. You got to get a high five, get some water, get some air. Probably bend over, suck in some little bit more air.
Well, the thing is, they replace him with a guy, Maurice Hicks, who has a couple of 100-yard games this season as well. Simonton has been the workhorse.
Heck of a year for him.
They go with a single back right now. The fullback, Mike Milan, alone in the backfield. Bouncing it outside. Milan picks up about 3 yards on the play. Looks like that'll be the play to take us down to the 2-minute warning. So Scotland thinking about records and victory. Right now, they own a 10-point lead. The final 2 minutes of the regular season just ahead. Well, that's Scotland's sideline looking to enjoy their 6th victory of the season. They lead 24-14 right now with 2 minutes left to play. And are those the victory kilts?
No, those are kilts, though. You know, don't confuse that with any kind of funny business.
Oh, don't call them skirts.
No, they're definitely not skirts. And word is right now, Kurt, that we're going to.
Is that another rumor?
Another rumor, okay, floating around that we're going to be in one of those next week. Now, I don't know if I'm ready for it or not. I got a couple days to think about it.
Well, right now, I tell you, the guy that everybody's looking at is not wearing a kilt at all. It was the running back Ken Symington for the Scottish Claymores. 174 combined yards today. He doesn't come back. He'll finish 21 yards short of the all-time record. As Mike Milan is in there now at fullback to run out the clock. The third down, though. And he didn't get the first.
You know, we asked Ken Symington about the records, though, and he's not.
Timeout, Amsterdam.
He didn't come over here to set records.
Second.
He said if the records happen and it helps us win and helps us win the World Bowl, that's fine. But he goes, he's got a ton of records still at Oregon State, you know, where he was a big-time player there.
All-time leading rusher there. Yeah. And you look at Pac-10 history, all the great running backs that have been there.
O.J. Simpson, I mean, all the guys, Marcus Allen, all those guys that
Charles
came out.
White's the only guy that ever ran for more yards than he did.
USC, I mean, that's the guy.
And he won the Heisman in '79, of course, for those that remember.
Yeah.
So even if you don't remember, he still won it. So.
But, I mean, at this point, with how many yards is he away from Lawrence Phillips' record?
He's a total of, he's got 179, right. 195, so he's 16 yards away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worth going back in there to try to get the record. He wants to go to Buffalo and set records. That's what he wants to do.
Shane Stafford in at quarterback towards the end zone. That one caught. Adele Shepard, his 2nd touchdown.
See that C on his chest? That's from the Chicago Bears. And the Bears, who have had a lot of success taking receivers from this league, getting them some work like Marcus Robinson and Ahmad Merritt, I think Adele Shepard is going to have a future in Chicago this year.
Well, nice way to finish with 2 receiving touchdowns on the afternoon, giving them 4 for the season. We mentioned Ken Marjoram, the offensive coordinator, said he probably could have caught 60 this year, but in their offense, they like to spread the ball around to give everybody an opportunity. And right now, that touchdown has given Scotland a 31-14 lead.
Well, take a look right here at the protection for Shane Stafford. I mean, the whole defense line caved in. So he had great vision to see Shepard. Watch this defense line get caved in over here. Shepard had great vision, and then you're going to see Shepard just run a post here. Little double stutter move there.
He had Fred Moore all confused.
He did, didn't he? And then he got a little slam dunk in over the top of the goalpost. That's good. It's good to see a guy with a smile on his face here in the 10th week. Not going for the championship next week, just playing football for the love of the game, finishing out the season, getting another game tape ready for the Bears to look at. I tell you, coming in here today, I was a little worried about just how into it the players are going to be. You're going to see the type of effort they're going to give. I think that the players acquitted themselves well today out here.
Absolutely, no question. The Scottish Claymores put up 31 points, the highest scoring offense in the league, averaging 30 a game, did just that. As we reach 1:44 left on the clock, Amsterdam to take it. Brian Holmes kicking things off. And on Adams. Hit hard at the 25-yard line. Stopped right there in his tracks. Shannon Wadley doing the job, and Roel Bledman is another guy who's a native. Grew up in England, played with the London Monarchs, and played here in the Scottish Claymores. Played more games than any player in the history of NFL Europe. This is 85th and final game.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, everybody knows it too. So everybody gets a hug from everybody, and they'll have a post-game thing, a little celebration for Roel. But you know, he's got 2 daughters right now, and they need a little bit more attention. He owns a couple of gymnasiums in London. You know, been a good businessman there as well.
Completion out to the tight end, Jan Schnee, the Frenchman. Amsterdam in something of a hurry-up mode, 16 yards on that play.
Well, you mentioned Jan Schnee and Roel Bledman, Kurt. We've talked about Robert Flickinger and
Scott Cooper.
Yeah, Carlos Rosado. I mean, guys that are all born in other countries. You know, one of the goals of this league.
Well, there's another, Sandino Octobre.
Yeah, and you know, outside of some difficult names to pronounce sometimes, one of the goals of this league was to develop enough football interest in players here where they get recruited by colleges and go to American to play in colleges and then end up in the NFL, just like they have in the NBA over the last few years.
What's happened is that ball falls incomplete. I mean, if you look at, you know, the University of Tennessee, Constantine Richmond and Claudius Osei at the University of Florida, those guys are starters. Started playing in youth programs over here in Europe, set up by the NFL Europe League, grew up playing American football, and got starting jobs in American colleges at big-time programs, Tennessee and Florida. So the process is working. You get guys like that, Ken Simonton, who come over and prove that they are ready to play on Sundays in the National Football League as well. That one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Devontae Peterson getting a hand in there. Well, Sean Hill and the Amsterdam Admirals will come up on the losing end of this game and finish the year up at 4-6. The Scottish Claymores will wind up tied for the best record in NFL Europe at 6-4, but they lose the 3-way tiebreaker. And so Saturday, it will be Frankfurt and Rhine right here at Hampden Park in Glasgow, playing in the World Bowl Championship game. Jan Schnee takes that one into Scotland territory. And of course, you can see the World Bowl 11 on Fox, on the Fox Network, Saturday beginning at noon Eastern time. Yours truly, along with Brian Baldinger, getting to spend a little bit more time here in Glasgow, making the call next week. Hill throws that one out of bounds.
Well, it's a shame because the Claymores won their last 4 games in a row. You know, they always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you always want to be playing your best football at the end of the season. And the Claymores were. They're playing the best football in this league at the end of the season. And, you know, sometimes you just dig yourself too big of a hole to get out of. And when you start off 2-4 and you lose a couple of close games and you know, you just can't make up for that in just a 10-game schedule sometimes.
That 10-game schedule creeps up on you rather quickly. Being chased. Chris Ward can't catch Hill. And Sean Hill completes it out. There's Jan Schnee once again with the catch, falling out of bounds with just 12 seconds left. You know, it's one thing you watch in the NFL, teams start out 2-4, maybe even 3-3 like the Jets have the last couple of years. Make the playoffs, but in a 10-game schedule, those slow starts are hard to overcome sometimes.
Yeah, but, you know, I think all the players could say, and, you know, this is a big thing for players and coaches, that, you know what, we played hard to the end. We prepared, we practiced, we were professional. You know, we're getting out of this thing knowing that we played well.
And we're better football players and coaches than we were at the start of the season.
Yeah, and that's all part of development.
Santino Octobre makes the catch. That'll be the final play of the NFL Europe League regular season. Ken Simonton, 247 total yards today when you combine the returns, rushing, and receiving. Leads the Claymores to victory. Once again, the final score 31-14 over the Amsterdam Admirals. Claymores finish at 6-4. No one finished with a better record this season. That's something else they can be proud of.
Well, and I think what the players are saying there is, you know, nobody's better than us. And they're not. You've got 3 teams with the same record. They lose the tiebreaker, but to me, this is the best football team in this league right now. The most dangerous team, partly because of Craig Nall. But they certainly, you know, they came out here today when you know that they had to be down to start the day. And they played really hard. And that's all you can ask.
I agree with you. But